Okay, guys, hope you liked that intro. Or maybe you didn't. I don't know. We're going to find out. Hopefully, you can hear me. I don't know if you can or not. And yes, welcome. We got a lot of stuff to do today. I guess we'll start with some updates. First of all, the Lelouch versus Light Intelligence, or who's a smarter character. I'm hoping to get that out this week, Thursday. Here's hoping. I've been working pretty hard. It's a long video. I know you guys requested it like months ago, but yeah, it takes a while to get that stuff going. So that's the plan for this week. Now, before we start the WatchMojo video, I want to hopefully halfway through, I want to discuss the Discord server. I have some thoughts I want to share with everyone else. Once we get more people back in here during the stream. But yeah, that's the plan for today. Oh, and something really cool. I wanted to show you guys this. Let's see. I gotta share my screen first. That might be important. Let me share my screen real quick here. I want to show you something. So yesterday, hey, share the screen. Okay. So check this out. A couple days ago, Code Geass, CBR did the most awful thing. They actually gave us 2 new articles for Code Geass. Depending how long this video takes to go through, we might cover one of them. But yeah, just something funny. They actually got 2 of them out today, or 2 days ago. And that's what I mentioned. A good point. Klaus, thanks for mentioning. Yes, guys, September 10th. There's an announcement for the new Code Geass stuff. Genesis already code and Zero Capture. That Sunday, I'm going to go over everything that was in the trailer live, just like this. So tune in for that. It's really cool. I'm very excited for that announcement. Finally, to get something about the new game and the new TV show. Finally. Also, I haven't seen any announcement yet for the new characters. I was taking a look at like the list. Looks like Suzaku's the only one that's been announced. It seems like if I don't pay attention, then something happens. But when I do, nothing does. That just seems to be the trend that's been going on lately. Okay, so the topic we're going to do today, now I got all that stuff out of the way, is WatchMojo's Code Geass vs. Death Note. It came out on May 23rd, 2017. It has 15,000 likes and 6,000 dislikes. I don't know who, I don't remember who wins this video or who they thought was better, but I'm going to assume because of a lot of dislikes that people probably didn't like the outcome. Or maybe they got stuff wrong. The problem with WatchMojo is, well, there's many things, but they started doing anime videos. I can't remember what year it was. It might have been 16 or 15, but I recall that they were pretty bad because the people who did it, they were kind of, I don't use the term normies, but they were normies. They didn't know what they were talking about, and many times it was just, oh, that's bad. I don't know if it's gotten any worse. It's one of the reasons why I unsubscribed to the channel. This was like 5-6 years ago. I couldn't take their anime content. It was really bad. Like they always said, like, do you like our videos or something? I'm always like, no, I didn't like it. It was just, it's the worst. So we'll see. We'll see how they do it. Maybe it's a fair one. I haven't watched in a long time. So that's it. I'll look at some comments real quick, and then we're going to begin. Yeah, look at the intro. It's still kind of a work in progress, but yeah, I might try to do some cool stuff for this stream. I have like, actually, that was the wrong one. Yes, that was the one I want to do. But anyways, yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff I want to do for the stream, like sound effects and cool like transitions and stuff. I'm still learning how to do all this, so maybe in a couple months the stream will actually look somewhat professional. So there's that. Okay, I remember loving this video. Yeah, probably not. Did you announce the news one for that one? I hope it's going to be a TV show, but I'm scared it will be a resurrection situation again. Zero Capture, a movie? I thought it's a TV series. Okay, it better be a TV series. They promised a show. Even if it's an OVA series, it can't be a movie. God, is it just me, or is every single studio nowadays not launching TV shows? They're doing movies to continue stories nowadays. Like everyone's doing this. Like recently, I'm big into Free. I'm not sure you guys have watched the show before, but they're making a movie to continue the series instead of actually making a new series. And there's a bunch of stuff like that. Why are they doing that? I hope it's not. If it is, I'm gonna be a little pissed. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Your audio has an echo. It does? Is it bad? It has an echo. How bad is the echo? Let's see. Oh god, this. Hold on. You guys are. Wait. I think I know what's going on here. Is this plugged in? Hold on a second. Oh. I'm sorry, guys. I can't believe you're listening to this. That was not planned, I promise. Okay. Alright, it should be much better now. I had the wrong mic checked in. Ugh. Okay, guys, I hope it's better now. I can't believe I just did that. Oh my god. Is there no more echo? I hope I got rid of that. That's my bad. The settings on StreamYards and, of course, my own stupidity, go head-to-head. Who wins? It looks like not me. Alright. Okay, will there be more news about the new project? Yes, September 10th. I'll talk about it when it is finished. Still better than DX, we'll find out. I liked the video too, yeah, I guess it wasn't. Back in the day when they would always put FMAB at number 1. I mean, to be fair, FMAB is number 1. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like, basically, these sites like WatchMojo and CBR and Screen Rant, they don't take chances. They just say, hey, look, this is what everyone else thinks, we'll go with it. I don't watch many of these videos or read articles where they actually pick someone who is like, hey, that was actually a pretty ballsy choice, or you knew more than what I thought you did. But usually it's like, oh, the most hated characters in Code Geass, who's it going to be? Suzaku and Nina. Where's the, there's no creativity behind that. You can just go on Reddit and know that information. You don't have to even watch the show, and that's kind of stupid. Let's see. If you had the time, you should watch their top 10 smartest heroes video. Yeah, we can do it. Shave your facial hair. I was supposed to before the stream, but it's what it is. Hey guys, it's just it's just me, so that's what I look like. I should definitely do it though. I will for the video for I'm making the one. What is it? Shirley's relevance in the alternate universe. I'll be shaving by then. Don't worry. Okay. Why TV shows are much better than stories? Don't know why they're much better. Well, it just gives you more time to develop the story. That's really what it is. If you have more time to do something, it's going to be infinitely better than less time, obviously. Especially when Code Geass needs all the time in the world, because historically speaking, we know that they, how I put this, they don't explain stuff. So please give me more time. Don't show a video. Resurrection as a film wasn't the worst, but it definitely lacked explanation. The manga, however, I think fills in those gaps, which means it could have been a TV show or an OVA or both. But they didn't, they didn't do that. Okay, let's see. They're already doing it to My Hero Academia. Yeah. I think WatchMojo is meant for mainstream audiences, so I think that's why there's so much normie opinions in it. It leads to predictable videos. I prefer individual people's unique opinions. I just slaughter that whole thing. But yeah, I agree. Oh yeah, World Hero. It's much better now. The reason I made a YouTube account, my first comment was made to tell them that this video about Code Geass was useless as the Netflix Death Note. I haven't seen the Netflix Death Note. Someone told me it might not be terrible. Maybe one day I'll watch it. I don't like some of the changes they made to it, but I don't want to go to that in this video. But okay, to be fair to WatchMojo, they got better by actually hiring an anime fan. That's true. Some of their stuff was actually better. That is very true. They have gotten better. Or when they first did it though, it was pretty cringe. I used to check out WatchMojo videos, but eventually lost interest. Yeah, me too. I used to love WatchMojo back in the day. They had really good videos. That was a time when they were doing it, no one was doing top 10. It was like them and Matthew Centaro. I don't think anyone else was doing like top 10s like this. Now everyone is doing like these top 10 videos. The one that I've kind of got sucked into was Marvelous Videos. I'm not sure you heard that channel. They've been doing a lot of stuff lately. But everyone does the top 10, top this, top that. But when WatchMojo was doing it, they were like the only channel. And they were good at it. It was like top 10s every day. So yeah, they definitely improved. All right. We've okay. Let's begin. 7 minutes, so it shouldn't take too long to go through it. But I might be stopping a lot to rant if it's that bad. Again, I haven't seen this in a long time. All right, let's get started. Hopefully, no echo. Here we go.
test is sure to be as nail-biting as the shows that will be competing.
Just as I thought, humans are so interesting.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and in today's verses we'll be pitting two of the most suspenseful anime titles of the era against each other, Code Geass and Death Note.
It's sort of embarrassing, and I agree with you.
Before we begin, we publish...
It's sort of embarrassing? Well, why is it embarrassing? Okay. What? I need some water real quick here, but like, why is it embarrassing? That's a really random clip to choose from. I would have picked something more like, this is epic, or like, let's do this, or... Alright, too nitpicky. Let's just get into it.
New videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. The level of unexpected that these two bring to the table is off the charts. But which title will triumph over the other? Well, you know how this goes. 5 rounds, winner takes all, and no cheating with Geass powers or Death Notes.
Oh!
Round 1, story.
This world is...
Okay. I'm already triggered. I haven't seen this yet. I'm already triggered. Actually, we'll just change one thing here. Let's do that. Okay. Now you can watch a bigger screen of the video.
World to suit their own vision. For Light, he wants a world rid of crime. With his Death Note, he can easily wipe that slate clean. But what happens when Light himself begins to believe that his own legend as Kira, god of the new world?
Death is the only way to pay for crimes against Kira.
Will there be any bit of the idealistic law student left when he finds...
What? Looks like my, Wait, hold on a second here. He wanted to rid the world of crime, and then later on he got consumed by, his god. No, he had the beginning. It was like the... Oh, wow. We're 1/7 of this video. Wait, what? No. No, Light was insane as soon as the show started. He said, like, the first episode, I'm going to be god of this new world, and I'm going to rid the world of crime, justice, and I'll be the one, like, the one world order, or I'll be the one law that runs the new world order. No, Light's always been crazy. That's, what? No, they never, Light became a sociopath, true, but that'll happen in the first episode. They make it seem like this happened over a course of like 5 to 10 episodes. No, this is the first episode. He's writing names down, then Ryuk visits him, and then everything goes to crap. So, what are they talking about? Like, even this scene, he's already lost it. No, Light was pretty evil as soon as the show starts. Well, not as soon as the show starts, but like within the first episode. So that's already a wrong take about what Light's trying to accomplish. At least how we get from one point to another. That's, wow. Okay.
Only goes off the deep end?
I'd be careful if I were you.
Code Geass' Lelouch seeks to start a rebellion in a conquered Japan in order to avenge the death of his mother and the trauma it caused his sister. Like Death Note, the story...
Wait, what did he say?
It caused his sister. Like Death Note, a rebellion in a conquered Japan in order to avenge the death of his mother and the trauma it caused his sister. Like Death Note, the story of Lelouch tends to keep things on a teetering slope as to how far Lelouch will go to win. There's also...
No, oh god, no! Alright. Couple things wrong here, and again, real nitpicky, but it is what it is. Number one, Lelouch's main goal in Code Geass, and this is not just this video. I've seen even Code Geass fans get this wrong. I'm not seeing one in the comment section in my videos, but well, not people who are at least whipping this live streams. But I've seen other videos and discussions where people make it seem like the rebellion was the main goal. Like his goal was to destroy Britannia and avenge his mother. No, the goal of Lelouch was to make a gentler world for his sister Nunnally. Everything was for Nunnally. Everything. You know that's true because at the end of R1, he abandoned the rebellion to save his sister because his sister's all he's been doing this for. There's a actually I should make this bigger. What am I doing? Sorry about that. There is a part in that conversation where he's saying, if Nunnally is gone, what was I doing this all for? So that is 100% inaccurate in terms of what he was actually trying to do. So that's really bad. And you know what's sad too? Like every single epilogue,
not epilogue, I'm sorry, monologue? Epilogue? The one that starts the thing. It's probably not monologue. I guess it is monologue. Anyway, the thing where it starts each episode, C2 says Lelouch's goal every single time, which is to, get revenge for his mother and make a nicer world for him and Ellie to live together. She says it every single episode. How do you mess that up, man? How do you get that wrong? He said it every single episode. What Lelouch is trying to accomplish. The next point they make that pisses me off here. They said that Lelouch, where will Lelouch go to accomplish his goals? Lelouch has lines he won't cross. He never crosses them in the story. What are those lines? He won't bring his friends into it. He always tries to protect them, even in R2 when things are going really horribly. But he tries to not bring his friends and his sister into it. He will not cross that line. Everything else is on the table. We already know that. It's been very clear. This is war. He told Suzaku in episode 4, he said, no, was it 4? Yeah, 4. He said, look, I killed Clovis because he was enemy commander. There is nothing wrong with that. Lelouch understands this is war, and he'll kill people both. He tries to avoid innocence, but he will do it if he has to. He just doesn't harm anyone close to him. He's made that very clear multiple times in the story. If you're going to talk about the difference between Death Note and Code Geass, for God's sakes, at least understand the characters. What in God's name? Like, it's... The second part of this, I can understand we get it wrong. The first part, they say it every... like. It's frustrating, too, because not to, like, hammer this point home, or to hammer this point home, one of the praises of Code Geass is that C2 tells you what's going on before each episode starts. They are some of the best parts of the series. That's why the show is good, because she's telling you, like, hey, here's what's happened before, here's what's happening now. You know, simple recaps. The fact that they don't even listen to these recaps is... I mean, remember, the main goal was Nunnally. It was always about Nunnally. The rebellion be darned. He's Geass be darned, rebellion be darned, everything. His life as well. Always about Nunnally. Always. God. Let's see, we got an account real quick, and then we're going to go back, continue here. Quick thought. Code Geass game with open world style of Persona 5 and combat style of Titanfall 2. Captain Gamer, do you know the people at any company? Let's make that happen. That'd be really cool. Like, legitimate, that'd be really cool. Okay. Maybe my opinion on WatchMojo's is biased because I watch the Italian channel, which is run by a very knowledgeable anime fan. They have an Italian version of WatchMojo. I think that's what he's saying. Conceptually, Code Geass' story has more going for it. It's definitely a larger scale, and I've argued that you'll see in the intelligence video that it's hard to compare Code Geass to Death Note because the stories are much different in scale, where Light is simply focused on trying to, well, change the world by killing people and eliminating crime, whatever the hell that means, and he wants to then fight, and then he fights L, and that's kind of most of the story. It's even though it's a macro story in the sense that he's affecting the whole world, most of the actions are like between like in Japan. That's it. Whereas Code Geass is a war story that takes place over Japan, avenging to China, and then of course EU. Well, a little bit EU because Zaku goes there, but it's mostly China, Britannia, and Japan. It's a much bigger story, different, larger impact battles because again, war story versus a crime drama, very different. Very different stories. The complexities are obviously going to be a lot less in Death Note, especially even you compare like the Geass mythos to the Death Gods and Shinigami's world. It's still Geass still has more going for it. That's why Death Note's probably at some levels liked more because it's simpler in that sense and there's more explanations provided. That's just one thought on that. All right, continuing on here. Let's see. Evil was already inside of him, waiting to be ignited. Yeah, pretty much. I don't know what they're talking about. Like, Light will literally do almost anything. There are, I've read some discussions about this, and the author confirmed that Light would never kill his parents or his siblings. Everyone else on the table, he wouldn't kill his siblings, so. At least he got that going for him. Ryuk even said to Light, you would only be the only murderer. Yeah, I know. I love how you bring that up, because that's literally, I remember I was watching the show again like a couple weeks ago, and when Light's like, I'm going to destroy all the murderers by killing everyone, and Ryuk's like, but you'd be the last one. He goes, what are you talking about, Ryuk? I'm just an honor student. I'm like, dude, really? Are you that stupid? Yes. The answer is yes, by the way. To be fair, it's more than that, since he also wanted revenge on Charles. Yeah, exactly. Like Lucius' motivations here are not being represented correctly. It's destroy Britannia, get revenge on Charles, revenge for his mother, and make a gentle world for Nelly to live in. Initially them together, but if necessary, just her. But Nelly was always the main person, and then they're missing. That's a big point, because like everything he does is for her, and even the small and larger strategies in the series are focused on helping her. That's why I'm just like, really? What synopsis did you read? Lelouch said even he formed the Black Knights for Nelly. He said in order to create a world for Nelly, he has to destroy Britannia. Literally everything is for her, exactly. Maybe people get this wrong because when he was a kid, he swore to obliterate Britannia. And that were the first words we heard from him. That's true, but you know what? The anime isn't just one scene, it's a whole series. And again, if we didn't have those monologues to start each episode, or a Wikia page, or DVDs, or... The point is there's so much resources out there where you could learn the information. It's really no excuse. And this is a big company. They have like millions of subscribers. I'm not sure how much they had at the time they made this video, but I'm sure it was over 1 million at the time. So it's really not... If I made that mistake, which, you know, guys, I wouldn't. But if I did, okay, understandable. But in their case, it's really not. Lelouch also wanted to find out who murdered his mother. That's true. You can't change the Republic getting your hands dirty. That's right. That's what after he killed Clovis. Or before he killed Clovis, actually. C2 did the recaps. I thought it was the narrator who happened to have the same voice. No, I'm pretty sure it's C2. You want to know how I know, actually? Because it's a little fun thing, but... When C2 loses her memories in turn 15, after that episode concludes, Lelouch or Suzaku does the monologue to start the episode. It's not C2 anymore. If you guys didn't notice that, it's a little like not Easter egg, but just like it's a nice little thing they did because C2 was monologuing the whole time. That's always been her. When she lost her memory, someone else took over. It's kind of a little detail they put in there. If you ever bored. Go watch episodes after turn 15 and R2, and you'll notice because C2 lost her memories, someone else monologues to start the episode. Little fun fact there. He's a syscon. I wish. It was C2 except for the episode when she lost her memories, right? Exactly. Code Geass' story is similar to a Gundam story. It's almost like they were made by the same... Oh, wait, they were made by the same company, Sunrise. Fancy that. Yeah, Suzaku monologued in, was it turn 19 or 20? Because he talked about the bomb. He said, like, Britannian calendar, you know, I wanted to stop the thing, and, here, I'll get it real quick, 1 second. I will show you. I will show you what you want to see. Give me a second here. Am I still showing? Okay, cool. Alright, give me a second here. R2, I believe it was... Yeah, it's 20. So in this episode here, see this? I'll show some more images. So during this episode, he's monologuing. He's talking about, like... Actually, here, I can show you a better one. That's not so good. This one's a little better. Crap, where is it? Give me a second. Hopefully I have it. Yeah, I do. Okay. So see, he's talking. He gives a recap of what happened. He said there was do or die resistance, and then he said, "Oh, the Geass made me do it," and then he killed. See, here it goes. To stop my father, to do or die resistance, and then he said it was childish, a far childish, impulsive act. I thought it would be no more bloodshed, and of course there was, and the fighting kept going. All he wanted to do was stop people from fighting, and now my thing is going haywire. But the point is, yeah, he did that one recap. So there's that. Yeah, Code Geass is more like a... I think it's going freaking haywire. Sorry about that. Okay, so that's... Yeah, I mean, we're kind of going in circles here, but we'll ask a couple points. Point is, this is a simple thing they got wrong, and we're only like 1 minute into this. I was really trying to be like, just so you guys know, I didn't watch the video in a long time, and I was really trying to be like, hey, you know, maybe they did a good job when they actually did their research and stuff. It looks like that's not the case. Apologies for the burp. Let's continue. Are you serious? All right, something's going wrong on my screen. 1 second. I don't know what's going on. It's glitching. Give me a second here. I don't know what's going on. It's glitching. That's not what it should be doing. Give me a second here. I don't know what just happened. As usual. New window, and please calm down, computer. Calm down. You know, the whole point of getting StreamYards, not to go on a rant here, but the whole point of getting StreamYards was so I could, you know, run more tabs. I thought it helps you like with their side or with the stream, like the network, so it's a lot faster than OBS or something. But if that's not the case, then why am I wasting my time with this? Okay. Okay. Yeah, Kato makes good stuff. He's one of my favorite channels on YouTube. I would love to collab with him in the future. That'd be a lot of fun. Okay. Alright, we're back. We're back. I can't do too many things on here, even though I thought that was the point. Okay. Let's go back to where we were. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Today's con his own vision. He can easily function as Kira.
Crimes against Kira.
When he finally goes off, he seeks to start a rebellion with his mother and the Trump.
Also, he didn't seek to start one. He did start one. Seek to start one. I know. Now we're getting really dickish here. But like, seek to start one implies like, you know, I'll do it next week. No, he started a rebellion. But anyways,
He conquered Japan in order to avenge the death of his mother and the trauma it caused his sister. Like Death Note, the story of Lelouch tends to keep things on a teetering slope as to how far Lelouch will go to win. There's also the addition of superpowers and mecha, which bring much more to the plate.
Nightmare Frames. Please just call it Nightmare Frames. Why does everyone do this? Do they do it to piss me off? I don't know. It must be to piss me off. Just say Nightmare Frame, guys. I know it's mecha, but like if we're talking Mobile Suit Gundam, say Mobile Suits, right? If we're talking about Full Metal Panic, call them armed slaves. You get the idea. Did you see Giga's take on Code Geass on Trash Taste? I did. I don't want to talk about that. It was awful. That to me is what most people think now when they go back to it. Oh, it did it. Look, R2 had problems. There is no doubt about that. R2 was not a perfect show. There are definitely issues with it. But to act like the whole thing was a complete dumpster fire, I think is also not fair. It's not like the best thing ever, but to go off and say like it was a terrible car that somehow parked correctly, or was it a car crash that somehow parked correctly? Oh man. Yeah, if your nostalgia, you see, that's why you like the show. If you go back and watch, you realize it was a complete crapshoot. It wasn't though, but yeah, I saw Giga's take on Trash Taste. Look, it's called Trash Taste for a reason. What do you expect?
Ushpi Britannia commands you. Now all of you, die.
Code Geass is grand in the scope of its tale. However, Death Note's plot feels a bit more grounded in their approach. The twists actually make sense and are feasible, whereas Code Geass...
Wait, what? What? The twists make sense and are feasible? You're gonna have to defend that statement there. You can't. What do you do? Oh my god. Okay. This is just like a CBR article in video form. Why do you just... So he's like, well, the plot in Death Note was a little more grounded, and it was more, and the twists were more feasible than in Code Geass. Are you kidding me? In both cases, the show goes to extreme absurdity. Okay, I love the plan that Light came up with to help Misa escape and kill L. Okay, but let's not pretend that plan was completely flawless. Okay, it had more holes in it than Swiss cheese. I've always tried to figure out how the heck Light would know exactly what would happen in the course of weeks to months when they were going after Higuchi, the third Kira. How would he know all that stuff would happen? There were so many variables in that plan for that to work correctly. I, from my video analysis on the intelligence, just assumed that Light figured it all out. But if we're being honest here, and actually look at it objectively, That plan was crazily... That should not have happened. I mean, you could look to any parts in that. Like when he had him in the helicopter to get the Death Note, he'd even be in the helicopter to grab the Death Note. The fact that L would just give it to him like that when he was suspecting that he would be Kira. There are so many, like, how he knew he would want to work with L, how he knew he'd have the right watch on, how he know, like, there's, you can go all day with that plan. To say that was more realistic, to me, is ridiculous. Grounded. Yes, it's more grounded. You want to know why it's more grounded? Because it's a crime drama story, and Code Geass is a war story. And while Death Note has supernatural elements, they're not even close to the same level as is in Code Geass. So yes, it's more grounded, but that's not a fair comparison between the two stories. Now, if you want to compare R1 to... it's true. If you want to compare R1 to R2, yes, grounded versus not grounded. But saying something is grounded as a reason isn't... That's like saying Monster is better than Code Geass because Monster is grounded. Monster is better than Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood because it's grounded. Monster is better than Bleach because it's grounded. Monster is better than... I don't know, insert anime here. Oh my god. This always happens. You state an argument, you don't give any real reasons, you're like, oh, here are the two sides, but, you know, if you think about it like this, I think that's better than that, and then that's a good enough reason. And look, I get it, it's a 7-minute video, you don't have a lot of time to go through stuff, but you know what? This could have been 14 minutes, it would have been just as fine. They would have got the same amount of views, most likely, right, because the fans will watch it, because it's WatchMojo. So, when you know you're getting a lot of views, spend more time on it, and actually give us a real reason, because what they're saying here, and I want to hear this one more time to make sure I got this correctly. Okay.
Actually make sense, and are
Okay.
a bit more grounded in their approach. The twists actually make sense, and
The twists actually make sense. Which twists? See, they don't tell you which twists. Which one made more sense? The fact that Misa joined the group, the fact that there were 2 Death Notes, the fact that there were other Shinigami, which we already knew in the first episode, not much of a twist. Light's plan, I guess, to switch the Death Notes around and remove his memories, which wasn't really, like, we kind of knew that already. What, the whole plan to stop Nier? What twist, guys, made more sense? Oh, because Marion was alive? Oh my god. Yeah, a supernatural war story might be a little less grounded than a crime drama, where you have more elements of control. This is so stupid. I'm like, wow. Just wow. Okay, let's read a couple more comments and I'll continue here, because I just stop. What? The Gigi video from 2011, actually, hold on, I'm going to keep going down here. Code Geass, my favorite anime. It's definitely on my list too, top 10 for sure. I love R2 as well, yep. Giga's video from 2011 was better than the take on Trash Taste, and that video was flawed, especially his take on Rollo. Oh my god, we'll get to that at some point. The Giga's video in 2011 was his first feelings about Code Geass, where now he's gone back to it and he said, you know what, it wasn't that great. That's a classic thing where people are like, well, I liked it when I was, nostalgia, when I was much younger. I watched it recently and I'm like, it wasn't that great. Wasn't that great. Well, you know what? In my mind, or my experiences, when I watch shows I didn't like or did like, I tend to feel the same way. If not, I feel better about it. For example, I hated Full Metal Alchemist when I first watched it. I thought it was complete crap. I watched it again, I would say about 4 months ago, and I thought it was pretty good. It's not better than Brotherhood, and there's definitely parts that make no sense that pissed me off, but when they stick to the original source material and they actually add extra scenes, I thought those were good. They changed certain parts of the original story, I thought those were good too. So when I say stick to the original source material, I mean like, they keep things mostly the same. When they go really off the rails, that's when things are bad. It's like basically there's parts of Fullmetal Alchemist that are word for word from the story, or scene from scene, I guess. There's parts where they change things a little bit, but it still kind of follows the original narrative, so it's okay. And then there's parts where they just go off the deep end. So those deep end parts pissed me off, but the rest was like, oh, this is actually not that terrible. Death Note was the same. I watched it when I was much younger. I thought it was complete crap. I watched it again. I'm like, okay, it's not complete crap, but it still has elements I don't like. Which goes to show that I'm more forgiving on shows I didn't like originally, except for Heroic Age. That was bad. 11 Knives was bad too. Heroic Age was so bad. I can't watch that crap again. But most of the time when I watch a show, I'm like, okay, you know what? It wasn't as bad as I remember. It was actually pretty good. So, yeah. And I'm more forgiving, I guess, to most people. I know, right? I prefer R1 though. Yeah, look, I liked R1 more than R2 because I agree with their point. I thought it was more grounded, which is fine. You can use that, but I don't like the fact they brought that up because you're comparing two different things. That's why it doesn't work for me. You can compare Code Geass R1 to R2 because it's the same story. Okay, which was more grounded, which not grounded. Similar type of story, but season 1 versus season 2. Like, if you want to say Death Note versus Death Note Part 1 versus Death Note Part 2, you can make those comparisons about grounded, twists, turns, all that stuff. But you can't use that within two different shows that are completely two different concepts. It doesn't make any sense to me because you're not saying anything that's fair in this sense. It's not fair to make that statement. It's like saying, if we're going to compare, this is really stupid, but if we're going to compare Major, which is a baseball anime, to Kuroko's basketball, and you say, well, you know what? I like baseball more, so it's better. I'm like, well, that's not a fair comparison. You're comparing baseball to basketball. Of course you're going to like it. Like, what? I feel it's the same way here. You're comparing two different things, and you can't do that. If you want to compare it to itself and say something like that, sure. Like Nier versus L or something. You can do that, but don't take two different things and compare them when one thing wouldn't apply to the other. That's the problem I have with that complaint. Okay. Let's keep going here. Man, the comments are crazy. I love you guys. Thank you. Remember when Light wrote someone's name in the piece of paper of a Death Note next to the police members? he did that. Actually, he was in the back seat. That was really funny. Also, Code Geass is a unicorn. That's why I feel less realistic. You say Uchronia? I'm not sure what that means. Did you meant to write that? Uchronia? I'm an idiot. What does that mean? Here, I'll look it up real quick. Assuming that's actually a word. Come on now. Load. Oh, a hypothetical or frictional time period. Oh, that's a cool word. Uchronia. I didn't know that. Thank you. I learned something new. Exactly. Where Death Note is more of a... Like, if you took out the Death Note element, it could still probably work. You just have to change things around a little bit, like how light kills people. But it's less supernatural. That's a good point. And plus, it's an alternate timeline with like how Britannia exists in our current world. So that's a good point. Ram Slice of Life is much better than Full Metal Alchemist because it's more grounded. Yeah, basically. A difference between Kira and Zera is their reason. Lelouch at start had kind of a more personal reason than Light. Nothing against my shows, any shows, but both are great. That's also true because there was nothing really affecting Light. He was actually kind of just bored and like, I want to just get rid of crime and make the world a better place. Where Lelouch is like, my family was betrayed by the Emperor himself, so I'm destroying this place and making a better world for all of us. Exactly, there's more personal stake. Very good point. I agree. Okay, CBR WatchMojo team. No, pretty much. Doesn't make Code Geass worse. Nope. That's one of the parts about Code Geass. The Ragnarok connection. Completely insane. That's why we like it. It's like Evangelion. Why we like that show? Because it's crazy. Same with Razafon. Just crazy. At least WatchMojo included Code Geass in their top 10 animes video. Yeah, that was probably just for, not to get the benefit of the doubt, but I think that's just because they want to appeal to people and they know it was popular. If they made a top 10 now, it wouldn't be on the list. Just to be honest here. How funny, WatchMojo made their top 10 anime and they a planet and they put Code Geass in the 7th. Did they do that? I haven't watched that video. I usually only appreciate stories I like more on rewatch, like Eureka 7, Clannad, Code Geass, Gurren Lagann, etc. Oh, Gurren Lagann, that was another show when I first watched it. I thought it was complete crap, and then I realized it's a parody, and then okay, that makes sense. Now I'm not angry anymore. I used to think it wasn't a parody, and I was like, wait, what? This is serious? And I realized that it's a parody, so I let it go. And plus, actually, it's much better than I remember. Again, be fair when you look at stuff from the past and in the context it was made and trying to be too harsh about it. Especially Code Geass, when we know it was a rushed job and we know that they had no expectation it was going to be anything great to begin with. When you put those two things together, things start to add up. I should really be highlighting comments. I apologize. Oh, that's a good one. Yes, thank you. I've had this shirt for a while, actually. I think it's the best final episode in anime. Not sure. It's definitely one of the best. Yeah, for sure. Very, very, very true. Yes, that's also a good point. All right, let's continue. I'm already triggered, but here we go.
Are feasible, whereas Code Geass often turns too absurd. Death Note takes the first round.
No, it doesn't.
Death
Piss
Note.
off. No one does. The stories are. Okay.
So, this is Lelouch's enemy.
Round 2, supporting cast.
But I assure you, L
No, the Lucius enemy is WatchMojo, not Charles.
is real. I do exist. Now, try to kill me.
Stories as large as Death Note and Code Geass require a cast capable of supporting its weight. For its global scale, Death Note's cast is actually pretty small. Naturally, there's L, the genius
Wait. Hold on. Okay.
large as Death Note and Code Geass
Largest Death Note and Code Geass. Okay, and then they said what?
require a cast capable of supporting its weight. For its global scale, Death Note's cast is actually pretty small. Naturally, there's L, the genius detective.
It's a small cast but a large story. Death Note's not even a global. Okay, whatever.
Whose intellect matches
That's not
Light's
true.
almost blow for blow. There's Misa Amane, Light's girlfriend with a death note of her own and Shinigami eyes. And of course, there's the scene-stealing Shinigami Ryo. Each character keeps Light on his toes, acting as either a deterrent or enforcer of his plans.
I will become the god of this new world.
You know what's so funny? You know what's so funny about that scene they just played there? That was in the first episode. And this guy said in the beginning, we don't know if Light's going to lose his sanity when becoming like the leader of the world or something. Or we don't know how far he'll go. That was in the first episode. He already lost it to begin with. I can't believe you played that clip and still act ignorant early on. Oh wow, not great. In terms of the cast, they don't mention about the police. We're talking about the cast. You don't talk about any of the police officers, like his father, Yagami, Shinichiro Yagami, Aizawa, Matsuda. Really? You don't want to talk about those? Are great characters. They're or Taka, or Mikami, or L, or Nier, or Mello. Just saying, there are characters too in the story, and Rem, and freaking Rem. And of course, you have Watari. I mean, there's so many characters in the story. Like, talk about them. I'm terrified to hit play because I don't know whether they're going to talk about Code Geass. Will they mention Shirley? You guys think? Do you think they're going to mention Shirley? I don't know. We're gonna find out. But okay, let's see.
Code Geass's cast is pretty huge by comparison, and yet, against those numbers, the writers do a pretty good job of fleshing everybody out. Each character has a way of testing Lelouch's resolve and the state of his moral compass.
What does that even mean? You know what's funny? This is actually incorrect. As much as I love Code Geass, it does not give everyone a chance to do their thing. That's actually one of the problems with the story. There's too many characters. This is like. I'm not sure where they got this from, but this is actually one of the more genuine complaints about Code Geass, is the fact that there are too many characters in the story. Especially when they don't even care about half of them in R2, like Colin, for example, and Shirley. So to state that, like, it's the big cast in Code Geass is probably one of the weak points in the story, not the strong points. I will say the inner circle of people, yes, there's a lot of development with them. The outer circle, not so much. And what they say also, just wanted to... They throw a lot of platitudes in here, which are really stupid. Like, just, they're saying stuff, but it doesn't mean anything. Just want to make sure I hear this correctly.
Huge by comparison. And yet, against those numbers, the writers do a pretty good job of fleshing everybody out. Each character has a way of testing Lelouch's resolve and the state of his moral compass.
Each one tests his resolve and his moral compass. I wish I had crickets noises. How did, Colin do that? Did he check... She never tested any of his moral resolve. Doesn't she just go along with him? And Shirley kind of did the same thing. And so does most of the Black Knights. They just go along with him. Who tests his resolve and, like... I guess Rollo? Maybe? C2 is the one who... Wait, isn't C2 the only one who tests all these things with him? Everyone else kind of just goes with... Who tests Lelouch? Lelouch tests people. Like, what a strange take. When I think about the characters in Code Geass, this thought never has come to my mind. As they test his resolve, and what was it again? God.
Has a way of testing Lelouch's resolve and the state of his moral compass.
State of his moral compass. It's been the same since the whole time. Suzaku is the guy who flips, Suzaku flips all the time like Big Show heel turns. But as far as I know, Lelouch is pretty consistent in what he was trying to accomplish. His moral has always been kind of the same place. Now, granted, when he kills innocent people, he didn't think about it much originally, but once C2 talked to him, he's like, okay, yeah, I guess I'll continue this point. I mean, he told that guy that had the what's it called, the House of Kyoto. He told that one guy Taizo something, the one who was the old guy, and he said I'm going to walk the path of blood. That's been his compass since the beginning. I'm just trying to think which character which character challenged or was there for his moral compass. It's just C2. Shirley might be there, but there's no challenge with Shirley. There's no challenge with Colin. There was a little bit R2, but it was very brief and it didn't go anywhere. Suzaku, yes. Suzaku and Lelouch do go back and forth. I think if you look at Suzaku, Shirley, and Lelouch, yes, those three definitely go through some of these things. But everyone else, not so much. What a very strange, vague statement to make. I would have said something along the lines there's a big cast of characters, although it's mostly about Suzaku, Lelouch, and C2, and Colin. Those are the main people involved. And then later on, Charles, Schneisel, V2, Cornelia. But it's mostly those four. Everyone else plays a role, but not on the same level. That's how I would summarize the characters for Code Geass. Not this random phrase doesn't mean anything. This is strange. I'm disagreeing in a negative sense. Because, if we're being honest, the cast in Code Geass is a little too large. Especially in R2. They just threw so many random people in there. I mean, think about the Knights of the Round. They're not even developed. This is complete crap. It's you didn't watch it on even the bad parts. And in terms of Death Note, they were saying the cast of characters were good enough too, but smaller. Yeah, what was it's crazy. I just watched this 2 minutes of 20 seconds ago. I've already lost. What did they say about them?
I will become the god of this new.
Shut up, Light.
L, the genius detective whose full scale. Death Note's cast is actually pretty small. Naturally, there's L, the genius detective whose intellect matches Light's almost blow for blow. There's Misa Amane, Light's girlfriend with a death note of her own and Shinigami eyes. And of course, there's the scene-stealing Shinigami Ryuk. Each character keeps Light on his toes, acting as either a deterrent or enforcer of his plan.
Keeps him on his toes, acts as an enforcer or deterrent. What? No. I mean, yes, but what? Wow. If I could find that, what a horrible summation of everyone. Misa's an enforcer. Ryuk is impartial. He just does what he feels like. If he gets apples, so he'll keep doing it. And I wouldn't call Ella a deterrent. No, Ella's trying to capture him. Wow. I don't know what the heck. I don't know what to say about that. That's way too simplistic. There is no way, based on what they're saying here, you can come to any kind of conclusion. You could say those same things about people who support. You could say the same thing about the people who are fighting against Lelouch. It's the same problem. That's stupid. Wow. Okay.
I will become the god of this new world.
No, you won't.
Code Geass's cast is pretty huge by comparison, and yet, against those numbers, the writers do a pretty good job of fleshing everybody out. Each character has a way of testing Lelouch's resolve and the state of his moral compass.
I'm already on it.
From Lelouch's main rival and former best friend, Suzaku, to his harem of beautiful love interests, to some...
I'm sorry, what did you just say? Oh, God. Did you just say harem? Yeah, you did, didn't you? Code Geass is not a harem. It's never been a harem. It never was a harem. It never will be a harem. Please stop with this crap. Yes, there is some fan art that shows all the girls together. But this is not a harem. Do you know what a harem means? Oh my God. God, I'm trying so hard to go through this without screaming, but just I can't do this.
From Lelouch's main rival and former best friend, Suzaku.
Okay, former best friend. Yes, by the end of the second half, they are no longer best friends. But you could argue they kind of still are and they're not. It's complicated. To say that they're clearly not best friends at any point in the story would not be accurate.
Zaku to his harem of beautiful love interests.
Harem of beautiful love interests. Are you... Okay, we're going to debunk this right now. I might even do a video separate, but let's just go over this real quick, okay? What's a harem? Okay. What the hell is this? Haram? No, a harem of women. Jeez. Okay, I don't know what I just looked at. Okay, I see. Story. Let's go back to... I mean like a harem story, because that's what they're claiming this is. A harem story, because it's not a harem. I want to just go through this real quick. I saw it on Wikipedia many months ago. Harem and anime. Let's go through this real quick. The genre. Oh, I wrote A. No wonder, I'm an idiot. Okay, here we go, right? Here's the definition of a harem. It's usually when a protagonist is surrounded by 3 or more love interests or sexual partners. Harems work as frequently comedies or self-insertion protagonists allowing audience to project themselves onto and having relatable and interesting ensemble casts. They usually, we don't have to go into that details. Usually in these stories, the girls compete for the guy, right? Okay. Well, let's go to the timeline events, right? How many girls like Lelouch at any given time in the story? 1, maybe 2. That's it. We don't count Kaguya because Lelouch doesn't even acknowledge her existence, so we don't have to count Kaguya. Plus, she's underage, and she acknowledges the fact that she can't really be Lelouch anyway. So, let's get rid of her. Gone. Okay. Euphemia, we don't know what kind of love that was. Some people have told me in my past videos that it was not a romantic love. It was more of a brotherly sibling love. So we can... That's gone. Okay, whoosh, gone. What do we have left? We have C2, Colin, and Shirley. Alright, Shirley liked Lelouch in the beginning. Did C2? No. Did C2 ever compete against Shirley for Lelouch? No. Did Shirley ever meet C2? No. Okay, so that's done. Whoosh. Alright, did Colin ever like Lelouch at the same time as Shirley? No, she did not. Remember in stage 9? No. Was it 9? The one where like they're arguing in the room and Saku's like, hey, where's Lelouch? And Shirley's like, I don't give a darn. And Colin's like, yeah, there's nothing going on between me and Lelouch. And there really isn't, because in stage 9 she slapped him because she was saying like, what's wrong with you? You're an awful person. She liked Zero, but she didn't like Lelouch. And even then, they weren't exactly a thing until much later on in the story. And I did a whole video discussing Colin and Lelouch's relationship. So, whoosh, that's gone. So now we know that, now we understand going through everything, that Shirley liked Lelouch for most of the story when Colin and C2 didn't. When Colin and C2 did like Lelouch, Shirley was no longer in the picture. There's never a time in the story where Lelouch has more than 2 people who legitimately like him and he legitimately likes them. And that's the thing too about these harem stories. If you think about a traditional harem, the protagonist acknowledges the other 2 or 3 women's existence and actually goes around with them. Lelouch never does that in the story. So you can't, it's not a, that's like saying Clannad is a harem, and which is not, by the way, because it's Tomoya had a thing with Nagisa, but sure, Tom Yo-Yo and Tomoyo, I think her name is, the white hair girl, and also Ryo, they liked Tomoya, but it's not a harem, because he wasn't with them at any given time. It's not a harem if you have love interest. Do people not know what a harem is? If a bunch of girls like an individual person, but he only shows interest in one of them, that's not a harem. It's only if he's going around with them. And in Code Geass, that never happens anyways. It's only just one person at a time. At the very end of the story, C2 and Colin have a fight, which you could call was a harem battle. But even then, it really wasn't, because C2 didn't know and Colin was kind of heartbroken. I gotta be honest. Like, this is one of those things where I didn't mean to go on a rant here, but that really pisses me off. Code Geass is not a harem. I know where that crap comes from. It has to stop. It's really irritating. Okay. Resume comments real quick and we'll get back to it. I don't want to just... Alright. Okay. Thank you, Taizo Kirha. Thank you. I forgot his name. Alright, we are like... How many counts I left? Okay. I think people compare Code Geass and Death Note because they have both morally flawed protagonists. And there's similar stories. I mean, if you look at the thumbnail I made for this video, there's like tons of similarity between the characters or the stories. Like you have the Zaku and L, and you have Shirley and Misa, and you have Colin and Taka, you have Mikami and Rollo, Lucian, and of course Light rather. Then there's a lot of similar elements to the stories too. A young guy trying to save the world. High school student using a supernatural power. But when you go deeper, there are definitely more differences than there are similarities. But that's why they also were popular at the time too. So it's we tend to compare stuff like that. It's a good point though. Light might seem similar to Lelouch, but actually he's much more similar to Schneizel. That's actually really true, because Schneizel wanted to actually rule the world through violence, and Lelouch didn't. But Light did. You're absolutely right. If you substitute Flea for Death Note, it's basically the same thing. You're right. He's more like Schneizel. And Lelouch beat Schneizel. So what does that tell you? He beat him in an ethical debate, and actually in tactics. So what does that tell you? Who's the right one here? Okay. I'm not a native English speaker, but watching Mojo is speaking gibberish. True. I'm not, I agree. So we're all three. In my opinion, Death Note has 10 good supporting characters, while Code Geass has like 2 or 3 more dozen. Yeah, it's definitely... I'll say as much. Code Geass has a lot of good characters that support the series. Some, however, don't get as much development as others. But I did definitely like them more all around. Although I liked Zawa a lot. I wasn't a fan of L though. I know. Please don't kill me. Don't hurt me. Okay. Lucian one day obliterate WatchMojo. Why waste his time? To be fair, R1 does it decently well. And with the characters, that's true. R2 is the one where it gets really bad. Yep, that's fair. Your moral compass is a roulette wheel. Code Met reference right there. Didn't Colin test Lucian's resolve when Lucian was at a low point and almost used refrain? Colin was the one who stopped him by saying he'll live to the dream he gave everyone. Yeah, that's true. That was the point I was talking about earlier. I said there's one part Colin does, but doesn't go anywhere. There's that one, and there's also the one where they're in the that casino building in the beginning of R2. But generally speaking, most people follow the Lelouch. He didn't really test anyone. No one tested his resolve as much as he tested theirs. They make it seem like everyone was kind of like pushing Lelouch to go on to the next level. And really, no one pushing Lelouch most of the time was himself. Most characters didn't even know what was going on because they didn't know he was zero, right? Or yeah, once they knew he was zero, then it kind of changed stuff a little bit. But even then, Lelouch was kind of doing most of it on his own. That's the point I was trying to make. You're right. There are moments, but generally speaking, that statement was very generic and didn't mean anything. It's a fair point. Lucian Zaku tested his morals. That's true. Taizo Kirihara, that's his name, that's right. Schneizel, maybe. The scene with Lelouch and Kira is one of my favorite scenes in the series. Yeah, it's good. Probably the point to Code Geass, but I like that they make a good point video. Make a point-to-point video. Yeah, exactly. They gotta make it like, they have to try to make this, I guess, put some tension in here. So you're like, oh, who's gonna win? Even though it's crap anyways. Remember Nadia from the Knights Rounds who was who a lot advertised? Yeah, had like 2 seconds of screen time. Yeah, she's one of the Knights of the Round members. We don't see much of her. I'd argue Suzaku was more of a co-protagonist than a supporting character. I think it's called a duotagonist. I learned something recently. Suzaku is obviously a co-protagonist. Harem, Kage, this is your fault. I remember DX calling it a harem in this. Yeah, he did. DX called it a harem. That's where this crap comes from. And those fan art, not fan art, the official art. But if you go through the story, not a harem. I don't want to discuss that again. It's really, ugh. Code Geass is a harem anime, so that's why I hit to the wall. Millie liked Lelouch as well. Some argue, yeah, but that's not definitive. Like, sure, I know some people say that, but like, I don't know if that's true or not. That's an opinion. It's a fair point though. There was a scene where Kage tried to make it seem like she was where like Colin were Zero's harems, which is gross and inaccurate. And to be fair, the other girls weren't exactly cool with it. They're like, okay, Kage is kind of crazy. Stage 7. Thank you. That was the episode where they had a fight. True. He probably died a virgin his whole life, was kissed 4 times. Yep, sad but true. Colin Shirley did kinda, but the thing is, when they fought, it was Colin was embarrassed because she doesn't like talk about these topics, and Shirley was like, she got really defensive over it. But Colin's like, why are you talking to me for? I don't like Lelouch. So it was, They were fighting, but it was like one-sided fight. It was like Colin's like, no, he's my man. She's like, no, he's my man. It was more like Colin's more like, what are you talking about? I have no interest. Leave me alone. Damn. Millie seemed to try to lose, but she never really made much of an effort to romantically pursue him. Yeah, because she didn't want to get away with Shirley. But it's not like a harem. Exactly. It's not a harem. I think Colin liked Zero more than Luce. Probably. Like, Lois liked Superman more than Clark Kent. Correction. I mean, wasn't a fight more a comedic scene? Yeah, exactly. Schneider said he will be God. Pretty much. But still, Luce dies of a kiss from the three chicks in the show. Yeah, it's true. The part of DX's video where the fan art was so unfair and nitpicky, his favorite anime is Ava, yet that officially hentai has official hentai. Oh god, DX, man, the hypocrisy, man. I was tempted to do something really funny. His favorite anime is I think it's Ghost in the Shell, one of his favorites. I want to make a video where I just go through that story and just obliterate it using his logic, because you could with that movie, because there's so many plot holes or not plot, but parts that don't make any sense. Even though they don't bother me, but if you were going to go on his level of scrutiny, they would be pretty bad. Yeah, the fan art was the worst part of that video. What was the point of that? Oh, his argument was that Code Geass was made for guys, horny men, and they held the fan art, so it's just fan service the anime. I'm like, really? Is that really what people like Code Geass? That's the only reason why? Okay, dude. If that was the case, then Code Geass would have ended up like Rosario Vampire, which has no fan base, and people forgot about that anime. But last I checked, Rosario Vampire and Code Geass are on two separate levels. So stupid. C2 and Shirley both love Luce for who he was, but it's kind of debatable with Colin. He made a Colin made a letter saying she liked Lelouch for, I don't know for him, but she expressed his love for him. And I made an argument in my video that because she showed interest in Nunnally, she was showing interest in Lelouch. That was like one of my, or the real Lelouch rather. It's one of my arguments I make. But it's true, it is debatable. I think the letter, though, kind of pushes it towards Lelouch, but it's a fair point. Standalone Complex is better anyways. I've not seen it, but I'm sure it is. DX is I just don't have words to describe him. Yeah, man, that video was so bad. And R2 wasn't any better. Alright, let's, yeah, well, Schneider's always fabulous. Look, the reason why Schneider gets their way with, like, mass murder is because he's attractive looking. Let's not kid ourselves. He's super attractive looking. That's kind of what, that's what makes him, super popular. But okay, let's begin. Let's continue. Before we begin, let's continue.
To some damn likable villains. Every encounter of Lelouch's life is covered and explored by this cast, adding to the story's lore and world building. Not bad at all for such a sizable group. Winner, Code Geass.
You heard me! Stand down now!
Wait, what?
Not bad at all for rival and former best friend Suzaku, two damn likable villains. Every encounter of Lelouch's life is covered and explored by this cast, adding to the story's lore and world building. Not bad.
Okay, I'm glad they're giving Code Geass the point here, but how is this not a valid argument for Death Note? They said the following. Let's one more time. I'm gonna put the closed caption.
Covered and explored by this cast.
No, hold on.
His life is covered and to his harem of beautiful love interests to some damn likable villains. Every encounter of Lelouch's life is covered and explored by this cast.
Every aspect of Lucia's life is covered and explored by this cast. There are damn likable villains. Okay?
Adding to the story's lore and world building.
As a story and world building. How is that not any different than Death Note? I'm not trying to say one's better than the other, but if you're going to make an argument for one or the other, but how is that any different? Because you could argue everyone in Death Note there's some good likable villains in there if you like light, but also let's say you consider like the protagonist, which is the hero of the story, then you consider L a villain, and you would consider Nier and Mello villains if you want to go that route. But if you don't want to go that route, all of Light's life is covered too by the different characters in the story, and it does expand the world a lot, especially when you meet Rem and Misa, and they show you the other parts, like more Death Notes are involved, more Shinigami are involved, and you also meet, wasn't Saito, that other Death God appears in the second half. And also the lore of where L came from, the Whammy's house. So I don't know what they're talking about. Like, I mean, they're giving it to Code Geass, which is fine, but this is such a generic statement. You have to actually say something concrete here, like, okay, this is not the best answer, but let's say the following. The characters in Code Geass are more impactful in the story, especially towards the end, than the Death Note characters are. I don't know. Suzaku, I think, if you wanted to do a compare-by-compare analysis, Suzaku's character was more important to Lelouch, and he had a more big impact toward the end of the series than L did for Light in Death Note. That's concrete. You could actually argue that. That's tangible. They've said nothing tangible so far about either series. I wouldn't even say it's 1-to-1, the point score. It's 0-0, or both of them. Like, you gotta state why. Like, what's with people and not stating a tangible, concrete reason why you think one way or the other? I don't care if it's right or wrong. At least put up something of substance. I'm lost how this has anything to do with Code Geass. This is such a generic statement. You could replace Lelouch with, like, Tenma or Ichigo or Vasha Stampede or Deku, Goku, Luffy, Naruto. For anything else I got, I'm just going to keep going here. Natsu, Shigeno Goro, Shinji. Sorry about that. You get the idea. I'm not going to keep going, but you get the idea. Sosuke, Aizen, whatever. Like, what does it do with anything? It's just generic stuff. I'm losing brain cells. I hope I get through this video. We're 3 minutes, like, we're an hour through this. Like, the stream's been going for an hour now, and I'm 3 minutes into this video. I'm not trying to, it's just, I'm not trying to, but it's going this direction here.
Not bad at all for such a sizable group. Winner, Code Geass.
You heard me! Stand down now!
You know, they should listen to Jeremiah. He said, stand down, WatchMojo. Stand down.
Round 3, Suspense.
Hurry to your death.
Both Code Geass
You know what suspense means, guys? I hope they define it.
and Death Note dish out cliffhanger endings, mid-episode plot twists, and dramatic deaths in spades.
Like Yagami.
With Death Note, it's all about how much Light can get away with and still not give away his identity as Kira, with so many wrenches thrown into his plan.
With Light, it's how much he can get away with while people learning he's Kira. I guess that's okay. I never got that impression. It was more like... I mean, that's true, but I always felt like it was more like mind games between him and L. Like, what they're saying isn't inaccurate. It's just that I didn't think that was a main focal point of Light's actions. Because many times in the story, he does really stupid stuff that would have got him caught because of other reasons. So I don't know about that. I guess it's true. It's just it's not... I never thought about that on watching the story.
Plans, will Light remove them violently or put them to use? And then, just when you think it's over for him, the unthinkable can happen. This show teaches you that the worst can and will definitely happen.
I guess it's because...
The worst can happen. Just things over for Light, something happens to him. Yeah, Light gets very lucky in Death Note. That's true. I'm not sure if it's a... I'm not sure that's responded, but like, I guess, sure, it's true. There are some moments where Light looks like he's screwed, like with Naomi, or when Misa was captured. Those were definitely 2 points. Most of the time, though, I think he's doing a pretty good job. There was a time when L was kind of on his... No, I won't count that one. Let's keep going here.
Because I'm Kira.
Code Geass has a habit of ending episodes with fingers barely holding on to the ledge. Characters change sides at the drop of a dime. The suspense reached the...
Characters change sides at a drop of a dime. When did that happen? Characters are... I mean, I'm guessing they're being hyperbolic because no one changed their opinions. I wouldn't say on a dime. They were pretty dramatic situations. I guess you could argue Jeremiah's turn in... was it 13? Yeah, because that's when Shirley died. And turn 13 was a bit dramatic. At the same time, though, when you watch the picture drama in R1... It's not really that on a dime. He wanted to serve the royal family, specifically Marion, to account for his failure. or to help Lelouch out because he wanted to account for his failure from Marion. Suzaku changed on a dime? Well, no, because he always wanted to stop Zero. He only got angrier when, he killed Euphemia, but I don't think he changed on a dime. Now, he did help him out towards the end, yes. That was probably the change on a dime. Well, no, though, because they planned it out, though. I'm trying to think of someone who just randomly switched sides for no reason. That wasn't Geass by Lelouch, by the way. Not just did it on the fly. That's a very strange way to think about it. God, what are they even saying here? I'm, lost. I'm going to go back through this again, because I'm a little confused what they're saying here.
Ultimate fever pitch during the epic Season 1 finale. Seeing Lelouch and Suzaku staring each other down, guns pointed, followed by a cut to black, and a gunshot left us wanting a lot more. Death Note, however, has moments like that built into every single episode. The show's suspense had our hearts racing so much you'd think that Light was writing our names.
Oh yeah, Detard. Good point.
In his book, Winner, Death Note.
Wait. Okay, now we're going through the points here. Because what they do in the WatchMojo, they list a bunch of random stuff, and they go, well, here's why we care more, etc., or why it's better.
Light was writing our names in his book, Winner, Death Note. Death Note, however, has moments like that built into every single episode. The show's suspense had our hearts racing so much you'd think that Light was writing our names in his book, Winner, Death Note.
Okay. Here's the problem with this point. Not like the ones they made in the whole thing, but this category. Is Code Geass a suspenseful anime in the same way Death Note is? No, it's not. Code Geass is not a suspenseful anime in the same manner. It's not. It's a war story. You're not going to have a lot of Death Note-like moments. It's not a very personal story in the same way. Those type of encounters between Lelouch and Suzaku are not common in the same way Death Note because it's a much larger story. You can't have that stuff all the time. Although, to be fair, there are a lot of conflicts in Code Geass that do have small encounters, like when Lelouch and Colin had their encounter in the beginning of Arc 2. There's the encounter between Valletta and Ogi on the island, which was kind of suspenseful. I guess you don't care about them as much, but I still thought it was kind of suspenseful. What was going to help? What was going to happen there? The whole situation with Euphemia, when he used the Geass on her. The whole situation with Mao was pretty suspenseful, too, especially he trying to save his sister when she was hung up, by the bomb. Or she wasn't hung up. The bomb was hung up above her. That was pretty suspenseful. What else we got here? Before he dies he almost died in the beginning of R1. That was pretty suspenseful. But yes, you look at most of the stuff in Code Geass, it's not as suspenseful as Death Note, but it's not trying to be. This isn't a fair category because one show is trying to be suspenseful while the other isn't. Why would you pick a category like this to comparing two different shows? I hate to use this again, but we're going to go to it. It's like the use of... Oh my God, I'm trying to think of an example. The use of baseball bats between... not baseball bats, I guess equipment, sure. The use of equipment between a hockey anime, if that even exists, or a basketball anime. Well, the hockey anime uses more equipment. There are times that basketball use certain things here and there, but it's mostly hockey. Or if you want to compare a swimming anime to a tennis story, whatever the case may be. Pick categories that make sense to both stories. Suspense is weird to me because Code Geass has suspense, but it's not its main thing. That's like all of Death Note. That's most of Death Note. That's a terrible comparison. Did they just make that up to like they could have picked other categories like the climax? You could pick the explanation of the powers. What else could you have done? That might have been better. I don't know. Maybe they do the main cast. We haven't got to the end yet. Maybe they do the protagonist at the end or something. But suspense is a very strange one because they're two very different stories. It'd be like if you compared Helsing to... I'm trying to think. Helsing to, I guess, a story that has like violence, but on the same regard. And the people in Helsing are like, what was gorier? Helsing. Well, yeah, because it has more gore. Like the other anime you might compare, like if you compare Helsing to Corpse Party, no, that's not a good one. Maybe a Black Lagoon, right? If you compare those two anime and you say what was gorier, obviously Helsing. Where's the point one for Helsing? It's gorier, yes. of course it's gorier than Black Lagoon. They're both very violent shows, but one is clearly gorier than the other. Again, not saying anything of value here. This is crap. Pretty crappy here. Let's go through a couple comments. I'm just curious what you guys think about this point. What if the 4 movies of Code Geass were a reboot canon series? That'd be much better. What do you think? It's like having DC Comics. Oh yeah, the New 52. It could be. I hope it won't be as bad though. Naomi is best girl. Yeah, she's great in Death Note. It's too bad what happened to her. But hey, you know, there's a Naomi in Code Geass that dies too. Just random. And I think they have the same hair color when they do like that color situation in Death Note where they like highlight the characters like you're seeing there. I want a Code Geass cinematic universe. We kind of have one if you count the manga, so kind of do. For me, Light was an anti-hero character who could sometimes be a villain, and most of the time he's a hero of this world. I don't entirely agree with that one, but that's fine. I mean, I consider him a villain because, well, that's a whole other discussion, but I guess to summarize, it'd be like, he killed people, virtually anyone. He has a very narcissistic point of view. He thought he had to be the one true leader of the world. It was his way or the highway. He was no better than Stalin or Mao or any other fascist leaders at the time. There's nothing good about him. He wants to help people, protect them from themselves, but making people dependent on you isn't really a good thing. And there's a whole, like, I can go on with that, but I'm not going to. The point is, I see the argument made. I don't think it's a good one, in my opinion. But again, I can discuss that in our video at some point. Lord Orange shall defend us from WatchMojo with his loyalty, and maybe his mech to a nightmare frame. That'd be helpful. Light was doomed from the very start. Yeah, because he had no clear goals. Wait, what? Oh god, this take I heard. Some say that Code Geass like characters changing from a drop of a hat. Yeah, again, like most characters don't do that. Yeah, Detard kind of did, but even then with Detard, it kind of made sense given his character. He only decided to abandon Lelouch because Schneider presented evidence that indicated him as, you know, the bad person, or he betrayed everybody, and Detard had no choice to betray him. But everyone kind of did in the same episode. And the thing too about that as well is, if you want to look at, let's say, Ogi and the Holy Swords, they actually had more reasons to betray Lelouch than just what Schneider said. There was already doubt in the group. That was one of Lelouch's failings as a leader. So it wasn't like a drop of a dime. It was more like, you know, it was slowly building up, and then it just kind of was let go in that one episode. Which was suspense, by the way. But what the hell did they know? Detard Sujitai was more of a joke than something serious. Fair point. Only fair YouTubers used to say that when Lady Fortune notices Light's presence, she takes off her blindfold and basically makes out with him. That pretty much describes how lucky he is. That's incredible. I wonder what YouTuber said that. Code Geass is the most suspenseful anime that I've ever seen. I mean, yeah, like there's, you know what? I just saw another scene. How about that part when the flare was fired, or would it be fired in the Battle of Tokyo 2? That was very suspenseful. If you weren't having attention during that whole scene, I don't know what to tell you, man. That was crazy. The whole battle was crazy. The Zero Requiem was pretty crazy. Yeah, you can keep going with that. How about the part in with the million zeros? That was something else too. They don't even define what they mean by suspense. Oh, because we don't know what happened with Light and Lelouch, who lived. We're going to take one of the highest points of suspense and say every episode of Death Note has the same level. Does it, though? Maybe. Not to retract anything I've said before, but they're two different stories. It's not a fair comparison to go in this category. Anywho, let's keep going here. They could have done the waifu, although that would have been unfair to Death Note. Yeah, they're definitely better. Let's not forget both phone calls between Suzaku and Lelouch and Nunnally. Yep, those were pretty... Oh, yeah, that was very suspenseful. That was turn 5. Yes, that's very true. Or was it turn 6? One of those. Technically, Code Geass has great suspense than Death Note, though I've rewatched both of them. For me, Code Geass is the best. I mean, it does have suspense, but the kind that they're talking about is not in Code Geass. It's more like a global thing. There are definitely certain scenes, but they're talking about like who would live between this, when Suzaku and Luch fire each other, like that level, not like a phone call or a confrontation. Like Death Note had those more than Code Geass, but they haven't really quantified what they mean by suspense or why that form of suspense is better than another. They kind of did and they kind of didn't. But these are good points, though. I forgot about some of these. That's true. Man, I wish Naomi Code Geass had a character since I really found her attractive. Yeah, she's one of the hottest characters in Code Geass, but they don't do anything with her. It's really sad. Her death was depressing, too, which I guess makes sense. Luch, in the end, wasn't the demon the world wanted, but the demon the world needed. A little bit of Batman right there. One of the great scenes is when the Black Knight is going to kill Lelouch, and then Roll pops out to save him. Yeah, there you go. More suspense. That whole thing was pretty suspenseful. Even Zero said Shinatsu plays chess was suspenseful. Yeah, that was pretty good too. Look at this. I forgot about this stuff. Thanks for the reminder here. When Lelouch almost got busted by Cordelia. Okay, that's a good one. That was very suspenseful. Okay, you know what? I'm changing my vote here. I think Code Geass is very suspenseful. And these guys screwed it up, and so did I. So, never mind. I'm retracted. They both get the same point because they both have suspense in their own ways that are pretty effective. Of course, Death Note has theirs as well. Like the whole thing with Naomi was one of the most suspenseful thing. The entire situation with Higachi in the third Kira. The last 2 episodes of Death Note are pretty suspenseful. That's pretty true. You don't know, this YouTuber has Italian. Okay. Disarmament of Flea, I don't know if it was suspenseful, but it was a great scene. Oh yeah, that's right. When Luch had to he had to type in the stuff in time to disarm it. Yeah, that was pretty suspenseful. Facts. I love Maggie with the great work. One of the most suspenseful scenes when Luch's dad pops up. And then Lelouch was shocked seeing his dad was still alive. Yeah, because he made him kill himself, right? But he didn't actually die. Ooh. Yeah, that was crazy. You know what? I'm not sure why those scenes didn't occur to me while seeing about suspense. I guess I was more looking at it more of a macro point of view of the stories and how one kind of lends itself to suspense, while the other is it'll have certain scenes here and there. But now I think about it, Code Geass had a lot of suspenseful moments. So what are they talking about? Did they watch the show? You guys clearly did, and I don't think they did. Oof. All right. Let's keep going here. Even though I really don't want to, but here we go.
Round 4, main character.
And as long as the police don't find
I mean the lab, but Light's face here. Oh my god. Oh my god, Light's face. What is that? I have to admit, Death Note has really good art, but sometimes it just looks absolutely ridiculous. Even Luch has weird expressions, but this is... Okay, that's pretty bad. I'm getting a little crazy looking at this.
if there won't be any evidence to convict me.
Is it wrong to want to root for both of these guys?
Yes, it is. Light is a socialist dictator who wants to rule the world by his law. Would you root for Mao or Stalin? I don't think so. Or Hitler? I don't think you'd root for those people. It's not to say you like the character, but I'm just saying that Light's philosophy is no different than an average dictator. So I wouldn't root for those people like I wouldn't root for Light. I know some people are not going to agree with me, and that's totally fine, but no, I can't root for Light. I've always hated Light. The reason why I hate the ending of Death Note so much is because the only reason why they beat Light was because he played himself. They didn't actually prove anything. That's why I hate the end of Death Note. I was like, I want to see them come up with a way to actually get Light caught in the act, or they have some evidence that could actually say he was writing people's names in a Death Note. All they proved was that some crazy guy thought he was God and Kira, and Light, instead of keeping his calm until after everyone's name was written up and they all died, he already lost it before and was like, yeah, I win and stuff. I never rooted for Light. I absolutely hated him. It's one of the reasons why I hated Death Note when I first watched it. I was like, how can people like this character? He's evil. No, I don't root for Light. I don't. I don't want to live in a world where if I say something that you don't agree with, you'll kill me, or if I'm not in good shape, or if I don't follow certain guidelines. Why would you root for that? It's really bizarre for me. I know some people say like, well, he's destroying evil people and war stop. Yes, you're right. War stops, but there's no choice, right? There's a whole. I would encourage you guys to watch. I've said this multiple times in the stream, different streams. That watch the episode of Justice League, season 2, which is the what's it called? The not Injustice. What are they called? Justice Lords. And listen to the conversation between the two Batmans. And that's the reason why I don't like Light Yagami's character. Yes, you make a world with freedom, no crime, but no choice. So what's the point of living? What's the point? So no, I never rooted for Light. I get where he's coming from, that killing people would make the world easier, would make the world a better place, I guess, but then you gotta consider the consequences. So no, I don't root for Light. Get the heck out of here with that.
Light and Lelouch are two of the strongest and most beloved characters on all of anime. You gotta admire how cool Light is under pressure. Even when his plans get derailed, he's always looking 2 or 3 steps.
Light is only cool under pressure in the first half of Death Note. The second half, he is horrible. Completely horrible. Oh man, talk about not being, the opposite of being cool. Man, the second half of Death Note, no. But yeah, Light is pretty good on pressure, especially when he was dealing with Naomi and when Ryuk's talking to him. But when Light's like by himself, he has freak out moments. So how accurate is that really? I guess when he's with the police, yes, he keeps his cool. He makes them think he's on their side. He's not Kira. He's very good with that stuff. That's very true. But get him by himself, and he gets pretty upset. In terms of being Sir moves ahead, he is. That's very true. That's one of his better characters. He's very smart. He does planning in advance, so if something happens, he knows what to do later on. Like when he killed Ray Pember Naomi, he was able to use that specific death, that type of death, because he had experimented with the different criminals. So yes, he's very good at that. That's true. Always calm under pressure, most of the time. But people do catch him off guard a lot, and he has to think about stuff. So, is it cool to see Light under pressure? Is it cool? Maybe it was when I first watched it. I don't remember, honestly.
He's ahead to conquer the authorities hot on his trail. He's also a pretty decent guy when he's not, plotting to kill people.
He's a pretty decent guy. What does that mean? Where do you think this comes from? He's a pretty decent guy. I'm losing it here. He's a pretty decent guy. Yes, to people he likes. But this is an act. Look, I hate to go back to the whole dictatorship thing again, but like Hitler hugged children. Does it mean he's a decent guy? No. That's so stupid. Man, these people are simping for Light. I'm getting sick of this crap.
Deceit is the name of the game, and Light plays it oh so well.
That there's someone out there passing righteous judgment.
The game, and Light plays it a pretty decent guy when he's not, plotting to kill people. Deceit is the name of the game, and Light plays it oh so well.
That there's someone out there passing righteous judgment on the wicked.
Lelouch is a handsome and popular freedom fighter with a cause. While Light can instill terror as Kira, Lelouch can do the same as well as inspire under the guise of Zero. It's no accident.
They both inspire. That is true. That's why Light became Kira to begin with, because people were on the internet praising him.
That Lelouch's Black Knights started with a few dozen and rose in ranks steadily to include an entire nation.
The United States of Japan!
He's got a flair for the theatrical and knows the right words to say. A bit more likable than the fear-inducing god of the New World, Lelouch scores a point for Code Geass. Winner, Code Geass.
Nah.
I'll say one thing about this point. At least they used concrete evidence to come up with an argument by saying that Lelouch is a little more likable and his words inspired more people to work with him. Although at the same time, though, want to discuss like their greatest achievements. Who accomplished more? I think if I was going to compare between Lelouch and Light Yagami, who accomplished more as a character? Lelouch created world peace. He destroyed the entire Britannia monarchy, right? He brought it back to a democracy. He put Schneider in charge of keeping things the way they are and not going back to the old style where the Britannia monarchy was in charge. He made sure Nelly become empress. I guess that's the term, right? Empress of Britannia. he destroyed the Flare Warhead, that type of thing. He concealed the whole world evil towards him, so when he died, there was technically no more evil, that type of thing. Although that never really truly happens, but he was hoping it would. Versus Light, who never accomplished his goals to begin with, because I don't know how you can when your goals aren't tangible. I want to make a crimeless world where I'm the authority. So when does that end exactly? It's a constantly moving goalpost. And more importantly, he lost at the end because they figured out who he was, and he ended up dying at the hands of Ryuk, but mostly to his own stupidity. Lots of stupidity on Light's end. That's how I would judge the characters by, yes, are they likable, but what did they accomplish? What's their legacy? Lelouch died a hero, Light died a villain. Lelouch created world peace in his death. Light died a coward. He ran for it. I want to discuss another video where, if you look at Lelouch before his last moments in Code Geass, where it could have been, he's like, yeah, I'm going to die. This is it. I've accepted my fate. Light's like, no, I can't die. I'm God. This isn't right. I didn't intend this to happen. Lelouch is like, yes, I know I could die. I said in the first episode, those who kill are the only people who should kill are those who prepare to be killed. That was his entire philosophy from day one. So Lelouch was always prepared to die. So when he did it in a more comfortable, and he was accepting of it. Light wanted to become a god. He never thought he could die or lose. There are similar elements you could break this down, and it's kind of irritating that they chose really simple stuff. I would have looked more at the accomplishments. That's what I compare the two characters, besides philosophy, which again, Light's philosophy pisses me off to no end. It's a classic crap you get from dictators. It doesn't help anybody else out. Taking care of people and making them depend on you isn't going to help anyone out. It's a waste of time. And it makes him like a good person, but he's not. And the simping for Light, man, is real in this. Alright, let's read some comments and we'll get back to it. Okay. Another suspense when the Avalanche shot down on Lelouch and Suzaku. Yes. That's right, and he told him to live. Man, so many suspenseful moments. You know what? I think Code Geass wins it in the suspense now because Death Note doesn't have too many comparatively, right? There's the Naomi situation, the Ray Pember situation, the early on killings, the episode when they need to save, when they try to kill Mello, when the police chief is captured, or it was the director was captured, more like that. The last two episodes with the warehouse, the episode with when they raided the SBK's headquarters with that guy's, I guess that thing they riled up those people. There's the I'm trying to think. Well, I guess when he first meets Misa was kind of suspenseful. Now I'm thinking about it, how many more suspenseful moments were there in Death Note besides those? I'm trying to think. I guess when you meet Light's father, the whole potato chip scene with the cameras. I guess that was kind of suspenseful. The problem with Death Note, it spends a lot of time on the whole plan to save Misa and kill L. It go on for 15 to 20 something. They spent 10 episodes on that, and that's everything involving that whole situation. Where Code Geass kind of 2 episodes per each situation, if that much, or max 4 to 5. And Code Geass has more episodes. Death Note has 37. Code Geass has 50. So technically, Death Note should have had 50 episodes too, because the manga, many parts were actually skipped out, which was really stupid. One of the problems with the story, they should have animated the whole thing. But anyways, let's keep going here. How can Misa think Light is cute when he's capable of this expression? At least Lelouch comes off as overly dramatic, not creepy. Team L all my life. Yeah, L is okay. I'm more of a Nier guy, but that's fine. We're all working the same goal. It works for me. True, Light's plan was to become god of this world, but in counterpart, Lelouch's plan was to save people from the war and actually help people, legitimately help people. Light's world is not a good world for people to live in. I don't know if you're not gonna like that, but I'm just saying I don't know how that'd be a good world. Exactly, a world with no choice. That's Charles' world. Exactly. Remember, Lelouch told Schneisel, he said Charles wants to live in the past, where the dead was what they're living, and there's no progress. Schneizel wants the present, Lelouch wanted a future. There's no future in Light's world. It's Schneizel's world. It's stagnant. Nothing happens in that type of world. That's why Light's full of crap. Sorry about that. That's why Lelouch is a better character. Because he understood that, yeah, I could do what you're doing too. I'm an evil emperor. I could roll the whole role like that and there'd be no progress. But that's not the point. The future belongs to the people. It doesn't belong to you. I love the line he says to Shamna. Like, it doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the people. So cut this crap out. Lelouch actually grew up and Light's a child. Remember when Elle called him a child? Yeah, he wasn't kidding. That's all Light is, a child. Even Nier is like, you're just a murderer. Facts. A world with no choice is the world that Charles... That's right. That's why I love the ending of Death Note. I could do without, to be fair. I'm not sure Light's the personality of lies and Charles hates lies. That's a good point. I think he means the whole stagnatic world, like everyone living under a dictatorship. Although it's more like Schneizel than Charles. Technically, Lelouch stops the world war. Yeah. Lelouch died as a broken hero because people hate him, but he still gives them peace and freedom. Lelouch is 100% more human than Light. Also, Code Geass has a better abridged series. I don't know. Have you seen Team Data by Yo's Death Note? I want to show you guys real quick before we continue here. I gotta change the battery soon, but we'll get that in a second. Let's see. They never finished it, but Team Data by Yo, I think it's called Death Note. If you guys never seen a show before, you gotta watch it. It's hilarious. Yeah, here it is. If you guys have never seen this, it's so good. They never finished the whole show, but Death Note the Abridged is a classic show. It's one of my favorite bridge series of all times, and it's extremely aggressive towards the show. Like, they don't make fun of it because they love it, like Team 4-Star or Little Karibo. They make fun of the show because they hate it, and it's good stuff. I'm at soup. Yes, we're all at soup. Alright guys, we're almost done with this video, and I'm already, I'm not sure I've stayed sane this whole time, but, alright, let's continue.
Give me your nightmare.
Round 5. Powers and abilities.
How to use it. The human whose name is written in this notebook.
Wait, powers and abilities. Do you mean the lore, or their... Well, I'll just listen.
Shall die.
We're at the final round, and these two have matched each other almost blow for blow. But what about their special set of skills?
No, they haven't. Not even close, but okay.
In both shows.
I hereby accept the terms of your contract!
Beside Code Geass's army of badass mecha and their naturally gifted pilots...
Again, nightmare frames. I hate to be a dick on this, but, guys, just say nightmare frames.
Power of the Geass itself. The power varies from person to person. Lelouch can command anyone to do what he wishes. Rolo can alter people's perception of time for a short period. Mao can hear anyone's thoughts. It's a lottery, but it's pretty darn interesting. Death Note has, well, just the Death Note. The power to kill someone by writing their name down on a piece of paper. That's not just scary, it's kind of terrifying. No one is safe, and everyone's time could be up, depending on the whim of whoever has it in their possession. There are other abilities that pop up, like Shinigami Eyes, which enable users to see anyone's name and lifespan.
If I had that power, the Death Note would only be easier to use.
What makes these powers so compelling is the rules surrounding them, and how the characters must work within these guidelines to pull off their goals. As entertaining as the Geass abilities can be, the terror factor of a Death Note trumps all.
It'll be us next!
What? Hold on, what?
So, in the end, the powers of Death Note storytelling and unexpected surprises managed to top.
Are you serious? Oh my god, no wonder there's like 6,000 dislikes on this video. Okay, let me get this straight. The reason why the Geass powers are weaker than a Death Note is because Death Notes are a scarier concept. That's it? That's how you want to judge what's better than the other? Personally, I don't think you can compare these two because the scopes of the stories are vastly different. It's not really a fair comparison either way. Now, if you want to say the following, the story of Death Note is more expanded upon. They have more information than, let's say, the Geass Power or something. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just throwing something out there that actually might be more interesting. The lore of Death Note in the Shinigami world is more interesting and better explained than the Geass stuff. Therefore, it's better. Okay, you got something there. Just saying because one is scarier than the other isn't an argument. Geass is very terrifying too. In fact, Geass can be almost more terrifying because you don't know what you're going to get. And some of the Geass powers are worse and more destructive than, say, what a Death Note can do. I mean, Shin's Geass power, which again, this is not part, it's a little out of scope because this is the original Code Geass versus Death Note, but they're talking about Geass in general, so I think it's somewhat fair. Shin's power makes people want to become nihilistic and kill each other. That's like a Death Note, only worse. Geass is it's not just a lottery. It develops based on your personality. It's more than just a lottery, which is kind of ignorant of the story, if we're being honest here. But the Death Note is simply a book. You write people's names when they die. To call it a supernatural ability is, I think it's a little disingenuous because you don't actually gain anything. But you kind of do, though, because if you give up the book, you lose your memories and stuff of it. But the Death Note is more like a gun, an enhanced weapon, than it is a special ability, let's say, like Geass power, where it's specific to one person, you always have it, and you use it in a more like supernatural, super ability type of way. Where Death Note is a book, you just write stuff, people's names in it. It doesn't really do anything to you, besides the Shinigami eyes, which they don't bring up here, or they kind of do, but they kind of gloss over it. But if you're going to tell the difference between it's just not a fair comparison because they're two different powers and two different universes, and they both serve the roles in their story perfectly. You could talk about, again, the lore behind each one, but this is a really stupid thing to discuss, especially for the last point. I would discuss things like the conflicts in the story, like which story had better conflicts, right? You have the Naomi, the situation with the third Kira saving Misa and killing L, and then of course the duplicate Death Note. In Code Geass, you have the Black Rebellion, the Zero Requiem, the Geass massacre, the massacre at the Special Administrative Zone of Japan. You have the Million Zeros. You have the battle of Port Yokozuka. The situation with Shirley, which, by the way, no one mentioned that. I forgot to mention Shirley's situation too was very tense when she lost because of what happened with Mao and Lelouch had to like erase her memories. That was a very tense moment where she's like, I don't know what to do. And Lelouch's like, I'm going to make her forget everything. And she's like, no, I don't want to forget everything. And then, you know what happened? She forgot everything. So there's those moments too. That's what I would have taken this conversation. Let's talk about the conflicts in the story. Which story had better conflicts? I know they mentioned early on with like the story and saying like an overall summation, but like if you're going to discuss characters and then main characters and then abilities used by main characters, I would have just gone for the conflicts. But from what they have said, their only argument is that Death Note is scarier. It has more stricter rules than Geass. Even though Lelouch tells you in stage, 4, and there's a bunch of restrictions with the Geass power. There's no Rin rules, but it can't do everything. Like the one command per person rule. Although, I will admit, if Jeremiah with the Geass Chancellor is with Lelouch, he can theoretically give unlimited commands to people, which is very accurate. But we're assuming that's not the case 90% of the time. It's a very strange comparison with the abilities. I would have gone with the lore. I might have compared C2, the Immortals, to the Shinigami if I was going to talk about the different lore. Such a shallow discussion on it. I got to change my battery real quick, and then we will continue. Even though we're almost done. Let me just do it real quick. I got to do one thing here. I'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. Hold on, where's my settings? Okay, here we go. Okay, let me show that. I gotta I'm still learning how to Okay, we should be back. Let me just share my screen. Yes, share the screen, please. Yes, share. And bam. All right. Oh, let's get rid of this. Hide that crap. Okay. All right. I want to watch this one more time because something was odd about this. I want to go through this one more time.
This army of badass mecha and their naturally gifted pilots, you have the power of the Geass itself. The power varies from person to person. Lelouch can command anyone to do what he wishes. Rolo can alter people's perception of time for a short period. Mao can hear anyone's thoughts. It's a lottery, but it's pretty darn interesting. Death Note has, well, just the Death Note. The power to kill someone by writing their name down on a piece of paper. That's not just scary, it's kind of terrifying. No one is safe, and everyone's time could be up, depending on the whim of whoever has it in their possession. There are other abilities that pop up, like Shinigami Eyes, which enable users to see anyone's name and lifespan.
If I had that power, the Death Note would only be easier to use.
What makes these powers so compelling is the rules surrounding them, and how the characters must work within these guidelines to pull off their goals. As entertaining as the Geass abilities can be, the terror factor of a Death Note trumps all.
It'll be
I'm still lost here because there are certain rules you have to follow. The Death Note, like you can kill anyone at any given time. Okay, it's terrifying because you don't know who's the target of what. Well, Geass is the same. I mean, imagine if you had to face someone like Rollo. You'd be dead. You wouldn't even know you were dead. At least with Geass, at least with the Death Note, you kind of know the last couple seconds before something happens. You get a little bit of time. With Rollo's Geass power, the person doesn't even know they're dead. It's really scary, actually. I don't agree with that. Think about what the damage Lelouch did with the Geass power. How many lives he destroyed. How many people died. How many people... He made people... Think of the... As powerful as the Death Note is, and it's very powerful, especially with your name in the face and, you know, the way Light used it. But look at the Geass massacre. That wasn't not the Geass massacre. The massacre at the Special Administrative Zone in Japan. That was an accident, and that was one of the most devastating things in the story. And that was just a misuse of the Geass power. I don't know, that's pretty scary, you know? You can get a pacifist to go murder the people she cared about. That's pretty terrifying. The Death Note could control people in their last moments of their lives. But, or it's a little more than that, but something of that nature. But the Geass power would never go away. And no one could resist it either. I don't know about that. I think the scare factor is both. Yes, the Death Note can kill people. That's terrifying. The Geass can make you do whatever Lelouch wants. Anything he wants. That includes killing, but it's not limited to killing. You can make the person kill other people around him, and then themselves. Be his slaves, whatever the case may be. I don't know, to me, commanding people to do what you want is way more terrifying than a simple book that you write people's names and they die. I think in both cases you're looking at something pretty terrifying. I'm not sure how you can say one is more terrifying than another. Now, if they want to use some their own bias and say, I like the concept better of a Death Note versus a Geass, fine. But I don't think that makes it objectively true. And I don't think you guys have argued either way at this point. This whole video is... Nothing has really been said, except for the last point. I thought it was decent between why Luch is better than Light. But most of these things, you could have argued it both ways. Alright. Please, let's not loot this. God forbid. Okay. Okay. Coleman is more... Of course it is. Coleman is more iconic than Death Note. But still... That bridge here was good. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. Klaus, you broke the thread. Rip. Lelouch is Geass is what I want for sure. Technically, Lelouch is more powerful than Light because if he had a code after he dies, he becomes immortal because of that code. Right. Well, he's a failed one, so he can use his Geass power, and he's got a code. So yeah, he's more powerful. And of course, they don't bring that up in this story, in this video, that people can become immortals after they use the Geass power. They did bring up the eyes for Death Note, but they didn't bring up how the Geass evolves in Code Geass. Biased much? Anyways. Suzaku's face and images, his reaction to this video. Oh, you mean this?
So, in the end, the powers of Death Note's storytelling and unexpected surprises managed to top Code Geass's...
Yeah, exactly. What the hell? How can the Death Note not overpower the Code and the Geass? I don't know. They forgot the Code Geass Canceller, Nightmares maybe? They didn't really mention it. They glossed over that stuff. I wish they explained the numbers from what you see with the Shinigami eyes. Yeah, according to the author, apparently it's just a random code. He had the solution or the translation for it, or not the translation, what am I saying? He had like what it meant, but he forgot about it. That's a good point though. The fact that Light didn't take the eyes can also suggest he didn't want to die and wasn't prepared to. Of course not. I mean, of course you're right. I meant to say you are right. Yes. That's absolutely 100% true. Also, he thought he could do it better without it. But you're right. He didn't want to die. He wanted others to die for him because he was a coward. Alush took that contract with C2 because he was prepared to die. He was totally okay with this. It was one of the things he had the entire series. He was always okay with dying. He most likely knew that he probably wouldn't survive to get what he wanted, which is fine. That's usually how this stuff goes for these people, and these revolutionaries. The Geass is so versatile; it changes according to user, but it's always mental. It's also terrifying if you think about C2's path. The codes, yes, codes are very terrifying. Absolutely, being immortal forever is more terrifying than a book that you can write people's names down. The fact that Lush was a Lush with a Death Note would be easier than Light with a Geass. Harder, but I think the Geass is so cooler. Wait, what? Lush with a Death Note would be easier, and Light with a Geass would be harder. Yeah, absolutely, because Lush needs eye contact because he could write Charles' name down, he'd be dead. But if Light had a Geass power, he actually did some little legwork. Because Light's a coward. He kills people from the comfort of his bedroom. You know, that's your hero, people. He kills people from the comfort of his bedroom. At least Lush has to confront you to do some damage. You know, he has to be in the front lines. The front lines actually fighting for what he believes in. Light is just in the comfort of his bedroom, killing people. Real brave guy. Code Geass has many more abilities, while Death Note can only kill. How is the Death Note superior? Because it's scarier. That's why. Don't you understand? It's scarier. It's terrifying. Right. Okay. I don't know. Let's see. Did I read that already? These comments are kind of annoying. Maybe I should look at it from this one. Let's see. Is this easier to read? Oh, it is actually. Yeah, this is the one I just read, by the way. Okay. If you make a slave of Geass, you also have someone on your side, or you have who you want on your side. Yeah, it's true. All personal opinion. I'm kind of obsessed with how cool the concept of the eye sigil is, and I love the Code Geass sigil design, or sigil. I think I'm saying that wrong. I'm kind of dumb. Oh yeah, Geass works twice or more if it's canceled. Right. So if you have Jeremiah, you can keep going all day with it. What would you say about the Death Note versus the Code Geass animation-wise? Death Note's animation is very beautiful. It's one of the best parts of the series, for no doubt. Like, I love as much as the story pisses me off sometimes, I can't deny that the art style is fantastic. I love the goth look for it. That being said, though, the Nightmare frame designs in Code Geass are great. Although the character designs, I'm not a fan of them. They're very, what's it called? Long limbs, skinny bodies. I've never been a fan of that. So from a body point of view and the art style, maybe I prefer Death Note a little more, but It's just because Code Geass, I don't like that style. I know a lot of people do, but I'm not a fan of the whole skinny people look. And there are some scenes in Code Geass that have like expressions the characters make that are just kind of silly looking, even for an anime. I'm sure I'm not gonna win any friends with that one, but our art style, I kind of like Death Note's a little more, but they're also very different because Death Note's more darker and muted, and Code Geass has more light and bright colors, which is kind of interesting considering the shows can both be very dark. So it's kind of a toss-up. I do prefer some of the gothic stuff of Death Note. Although I will say that if you look at some of the women in both series, I think Code Geass has better drawn women than Death Note. Minus Naomi, though. She's very attractive looking. But like Misa and Taka, I think Cecile is better looking than both of them. So it really depends on which aspect of the art we're talking about. Overall, though, I think Death Note, I like that style a little more. But she does like thin arms. Yeah. Okay. Now, a paradox. What happens if Lelouch orders don't obey this rule? They just don't obey it. Is that really a paradox? I think nothing happens. And if you give someone a Geass command they can't obey, they just don't do anything. Like, remember when he tells Clovis to answer a question he couldn't answer? He just looked at him. Same with Cornelia. People won't obey the command if it's not possible. Just like in Death Note, if you give someone a way to die that's impossible, they have a heart attack by default. So with that, nothing would happen. T2 looks like she wants the audience to hold her hand in that "we'll be right back" image. Yeah, that's actually from the intro to R1. And that's why I use it, by the way. I don't want you guys going anywhere. That's why I use T2's hand, like, please don't go anywhere. I promise, I'll be right back. When Light writes down your name on a Death Note, then you shout Light, then yeah, Light's dead. Oh my god. Okay. Lottery. Ain't Geass a reflection of the person who has it? Yes, absolutely. I'm going to highlight that comment. Right. That's the thing, it is. It is a highlight of your personality. It has nothing to do with a lottery. Every character's Geass power reflects them a little bit. The only time this is not the case is in Reign of Darkness, when Shiori gets the ability to change people's priorities in life. And the reason why that made no sense to me, this is like completely off topic, but Shiori in the manga never discussed people's priorities at all. She joined Renya and the whole group in their journey, but she never discussed priorities ever. So I have no idea where that came from, but that's a whole other thing. Usually it reflects your personality. We'll just say that much. Okay. Next comment. You know what I'll do going forward? I'll just do this every time when I'm looking at someone's comment. What Lelouch did to Schneizo was a fate worse than death for him. Yes. And that's why Geass is terrifying. Because it can do that to you. You know, what did Jafar say in Aladdin? He said there are far worse things than death. I think that was the second intro. Or jeez. Second film, Return of Jafar. One of those he said, like, there are far worse things than death. And that's why Geass is scarier than a Death Note. Because a death is over. A Geass power, a person could be a slave forever and never even know. Schneizel has no idea he's serving Lelouch against his will. He has no idea. Well, zero, but you know what I mean. He has no idea. It's actually terrifying. Okay, next comment. Code Geass is the best. Thank you, Lelouch and L2. Yes. Thanks for being here, by the way. Code Geass anime fan, I would ask which antagonist Resurrection is also pretty bad. Yeah, he wasn't that great. With the antagonist, that was pretty bad too. Command you to obey Lelouch. Yeah, because in that one, he told Shaman to sleep, but when she slept, she would like awaken. What was it? He put her to sleep, so when she wakes up, she's already asleep or something because of the way her powers work. When she dies, she goes back a certain amount of hours. So he commanded her to sleep, so when she wakes up, she would be asleep or something. So she never really... Basically, she's going to sleep eternally, or forever. I think that's what he did. I was a little confused on that. I am Lelouch, command you to obey my command. Yes, but what is the command? Shamna, yes. Okay. When it comes to girls, Cornelia... Oh, hold on. I missed like a bunch of stuff. What the hell? Okay. Since you finished, if you want to watch the top 10 heroes video, we're getting kind of late. We'll see. Let's first... if you're going to sleep, sorry, but it's 4 a.m. here. See you next time. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, dude. I really appreciate it. Please come back again. More streams. I'm just surprised you're even up this late. I mean, it's crazy. I'm humbled that you decided to stay up for this, and I hope I provided the entertainment you were expecting. So, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Hot 15. And get some rest, dude. 4 a.m. That's crazy. Okay, I've done stuff in my life, but I don't stay up that late ever again. I only did one time in my life. Well, a couple times, but I wanted to do it because I had a kidney stone. But besides that, I try not to stay up late. I'm not a young guy anymore. I can't do that stuff. But anyways, moving on here. That's what C2 call Lelouch a demon, because Lelouch is way more powerful and scarier than a notebook. Facts. Gundam looks when it comes to Code Geass. Yeah, they're quite similar. The skinny people was very noticeable in R2. Yeah, look, again, they were very noticeable. It's the art style they chose. I think Sunrise does it a lot. It's pretty common. I wasn't a fan of it. When it comes to girls, Cornelia is the sexiest. I don't know. I'm going with Cecile on that one. But hey, look, you can't really lose either way. Let's be honest here. Code Geass has more attractive characters. Yes, facts. It does. Way more attractive characters than Death Note. That is 100% accurate. Again, you have like Naomi, who's really attractive looking, but like for every Naomi, you have like a Cecile, Valletta. You have Cornelia. We said before. Hold on, Collins, Shirley, C2. Way more attractive looking. Completely agree. But what would the Geass be wasted? Would they get wasted if that happened? Maybe. Don't know for sure though. Code Geass are hot. Some of them will attractive in anime. Yeah, very true. It's 10 p.m. here. It's 9 by me. I'm in the central time. Have they seen Alderaan and Leia? Layla? Yeah, oh my god, Alderaan and Layla. Oh my goodness. It's 11 p.m. here. Everyone's giving their time zone. What time zone are you in? Yes. Light wanted to become a god. Lelouch saved God. He also kind of killed him too. Well, it's complicated with the whole Ragnarok connection. But yeah, because wasn't Charles and Marion gonna slay God? So Lelouch actually, yeah, he totally did save God. Very true. Is Code Geass going to have a season 3? No. R2 ends it. There's going to be a Zia recapture coming out soon. Well, actually, I don't know. We're going to find out September 10th. This week, they're going to announce something. I hope. That's going to be a continuation of the alternate universe, which is Initiation, Transgression, Glorification, Resurrection, and now Zeta Recapture. So season 3, sort of. Yuffie is maybe the most gorgeous. You know what? I never found Yuffie to be that attractive looking, but I know she has a following, so it's true. It's 10 a.m. in the Philippines. You're from the Philippines? Welcome, dude. Appreciate it. Even Charles looked good. Yeah, man. Charles versus Sonichiro. That they should have had here. The battle of the dads. Charles versus Sonichiro. Who was the better father? And obviously it's Charles, because he was he made an empire and a legacy for Lelouch to live in. What did Yagami do? Sonichiro. He just he made his son follow his path as a police officer. I don't think he made him, but like, let's be honest, that was kind of the pathway was paved for him. I mean, he couldn't even figure out his own son was killing people with a death note. He couldn't believe it. Although in Light's defense, he was pretty good at making Sonichiro not think so by constantly proving his innocence. So I guess he never wanted to see it, but that's a good point. Technically, Lelouch destroyed C's world, so yeah, God was already dead, pretty much. Z capture very worth it. Absolutely agree. God is in debt to Lelouch. I think we're all in debt to Lelouch. Plus, Charles is immortal too. Very true, yes. Yagami died, and Charles also did too, but in a kind of a weird way. Code Geass has more memorable villains than Death Note. The only villain in Death Note are light, so yeah, that might be true. 'Cause I don't consider Nier, L, or Mello villains. Oh, Mello's a villain because Mello actually kills people. He's not. Well, he's more an anti-hero villain. But no one else is really evil in the story except for the criminals he kills. But I don't think that you can count that. Light is the villain in that story. He's really the only villain. Like, Naomi's not a villain. She was a former FBI agent trying to avenge her fiance's death. So that's not really a villain. And L is not a villain. L is more of an anti-hero, but Mello really takes that to the next level. So it's a little debatable there. 5 days left for that insane stream. Yes, I'm eagerly waiting. The staff of Z kind of worries me. Yeah, I hope they don't go the same route as they did with Resurrection, or I hope they try something different. Look, I mean, I think if they try another Akito the Exiled, I think we'd be happy with that. Something different. Explore a new area. Or just animate Oz Reflection. Let's just animate Oz Reflection. That's all we should be doing right now. We shouldn't be making this new series. You want more Lelouch? We got more Lelouch. Oz Reflection. Just curious, how does this video even end?
Mecha and superpowered rebellion.
You said mecha twice. Ugh.
Failed. Winner, Death Note.
You know what's so funny about them playing this this clip of Light laughing? You know what's so funny about this? That's when he was losing. Why would you play Light's like most pathetic moment in the story to show victory? That's depressing. I would have shown the scene when Light, like after he kills L, he goes to the top of the roof and it's like almost like an orchestra of him writing people's names down. I would have played that. This is Light's most pathetic scene. When he goes on this tantrum, because remember he's a child, in an adult's body. There is nothing like this is sad. Watching a Light like this is sad. It's not funny. It's really sad to see this. Lelouch would never throw a tantrum like this. He takes it like a man. He loses. He goes, "Yeah, I lost." You accuse him of doing something. If you accuse him of doing something, he'll say, "Yes, I did that and then some." One guy takes accountability, the other guy runs like a freaking coward.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these up.
No! No one does. Look at these comments. I mean, the dislikes, 6,000. Let's look at this. Let's read some of these comments. Of course, they have the... I do the same thing. I'm just as evil. I have the whole Amazon link, so you can give me money. Welcome to the Roll Anime, where 0 is not a number, it's just a number, and L is not just a letter. How fast can they kill? Lelouch, all of you die. Entire nation dead. Yagami, god dang it, I need ink. Code Geass had definitely a better ending. Facts. Lelouch wanted to kill his sister, Sai in order to win/rule the world. Lelouch died to make a better world for his sister. Facts. Lelouch, you all die. C2, pizza. Light Yagami, I'm Kira the god of New World. Ryuk, apple. Yeah? That's another comparison. I never thought about that. The ending of Code Geass made me cry. I just finished today. Edit more than 1 year later. Thanks so much for the support of this comment. I didn't think it'd be that popular. WatchMojo. Death Note beats Code Geass 3-2. Also WatchMojo. Death Note number 5 and Code Geass 4 on top 20 anime of the century. Logic equals 0. I'm liking that one. I just watched the whole Code Geass. I must say that I love both anime, but I think Code Geass has a better ending and a plot. It's more understandable after the 25th episode of Death Note. Everything's a mess. I also love Lelouch, so I think I prefer Code Geass, but I also think Death Note's a masterpiece. So it looks like he's preferring one over the other. Let's see. Yeah, that's a good point too. The one who should kill are those who are to be killed. Yep, that's why he's a better person than Light. I'm not seeing the counter arguments they made when they're playing. Let's see. Lelouch and Light are extremely similar. They both have supernatural powers and use it to change the world. The main difference is Light was willing to kill anyone to achieve his goals and never cared about anyone. Lelouch actually was affected by grief, and he was bringing upon his loved ones. The power changed Light's noble goals into a selfish one. Originally, he wanted to make a better world. Then he wanted to become God. That was only the same episode, by the way. Lelouch's main goal never changed and actually accomplished what he wanted to really set out for, to create a better world that his sister could live in peacefully. Also, when faced with death, Lelouch accepted it. This is my favorite thing here. Also, when faced with death, Lelouch accepted it to achieve his goal of world peace. Light always did his best to steer away from capture and death in order to stay in power. And when faced in death in the manga, he went out with a shred of dignity. Same in the anime too. Let's face it, same thing. Love this one. And if Code Geass, Lelouch of Britannia commands you to cry. Yes, Your Majesty. Code Geass is better, but its ending is so sad it makes you want to cry. No one is saying anything positive about Death Note compared to Code Geass here. I'm looking for like the comment section. Death Note good, Code Geass bad. Also comment section. Code Geass good, Death Note bad. All hail Lelouch, all hail God of the New World. What? Really? I'm looking at the comments here. It's pretty pro Code Geass. Here we go. These categories are beyond arbitrary. It doesn't matter who has the better power as long as the show utilizes them to craft a better narrative. Ranking the power like they're superheroes is completely missing the point. Also, Geass didn't completely fall apart halfway through. Facts. Good point. I agree with the point, except for the last one. Geass just seems more practical than a Death Note. Death Note was one of the best shows ever. When the vid didn't even compare the ending because CG would win. I like Life laughing at the end, but at the end when Death Note won. But that was weird. Yeah, I mean, like, how can you compare these? I'm just saying that the one comment though, where was it here? The arbitrariness of the thing. I was saying the same thing too. Like, why'd you pick these categories? So stupid. I'm like losing my brain cells trying to understand. But overall, people look like they're not pleased because it was very arbitrary. Let's see what we got here. I hope the new Geass powers. I'll keep highlighting the comments I read. I do too. The director of the Z recapture previous work was something. I'm not sure what that is. And it's only remembered for its OP. That does scare me. Bro, if Lelouch uses Geass to Light and he commanded him to write his name, then yeah, Lelouch still wins. If only. Geass effects continues after the death of the user. In all the alternate universe, like Lou was saying, Schneizel was on the effect, but Lelouch wasn't dead, so maybe it depends on the type of Geass. Geass effect continues after death of the user? I don't think so. Usually, when the person dies... Wait, are you saying, like, if the person who gave the command dies? Because that's true. It will continue on once they're gone. But the... as long as the person's alive, the Geass command will never stop, as far as I know. So, he was technically gone for a little bit. Animate Oz, please. Lelouch is the OZ story. I want to see the cool animation all around and Orpheus. Yes, maybe the if the new game is popular and people love those characters, maybe we'll see it. He's an Oz story, right? Exactly. Where's my mouse? Like, why is it doing weird stuff? Ryuk was arguably the best, arguably the villain of Death Note. He led Light's journey to the to villainy as well as his death. It's hard to say that because here's why it's hard to say, because Ryuk's not evil or good. He just kills people as a Shinigami. It's hard to say he's evil or good. He even told Light it was an accident he picked the Death Note up. He wasn't chosen for anything. You could argue that C2 was more of a villain than Ryuk was, because C2 gave him the contract for the Geass and put him on this whole path, and she knew earlier on that he was probably a good candidate to get the Geass power, where the Death Note was randomly given to Light. It wasn't even given, it was just dropped on Earth and he picked it up. So, I don't know. Nothing Ryuk does is inherently evil or good. He's just bored. He's a god of death, so I don't know about that one. It's an interesting take. I'm not sure about it. Me, damn it. I think I wanted to become a Lush more than Batman. Yeah, that's true. The only Maniac laugh that would show is the one end of R1, Destruction Before Creation. Yes, that was a great laugh. Why does this keep, like... And the one he had after his Korsaki was the by landslide. That was a good one, too, yeah. And when he stole the Glade. Or dropped the building on the bridge, yeah. Or when he killed Colaris. Watch the OP, though, God tier, yep. Thanks. I am such a big Code Geass fan that it's hard for me to objectively compare it to Death Note. With that said, Death Note is a good show in its own right. Agreed. I don't think it's the worst thing I ever saw. Again, I originally thought that, but I don't think it is. It's just that these comparisons or these categories were arbitrary. The points they made for the majority, you could apply to either one. Generic dot generic. Until the very end, they didn't make any really valid points. And even then, very debatable. It's still the best suspense scene when Nina and the table coon. That was the best suspense scene, I agree. Fun fact, Ren is the only protagonist of Code Geass whose birthday date isn't revealed. That's because they didn't take records back then. I'm just kidding, I have no idea. Lelouch is December 5th, Akito July 4th, Alderaan Efren and Ulfrist born August 31st. But Renya, nothing. That's interesting. Okay. So what did you want me to watch? You said like the top 10 anime or something? Let's see how long the video is. I might do it. It's getting kind of late though. Shut up. Let's see. For God's sake, scroll up. Let's go on my YouTube player. Okay, that was weird. Shut up. Okay. Top anime. Let's see. Was the top anime of 2020? Was the top anime everyone needs to watch? Oh, most popular on the planet. Okay, we'll take a look at
Yes,
it.
it does
Alright, we'll take a look.
pay to be popular. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 most popular anime on the planet.
Okay, sure.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day.
I'm not
so be sure to
Stop.
For this list, we'll be looking at the anime that are commercially successful the world over and ranking them on both their sale figures as well as just how beloved they are within fan communities.
Alright, you know what I like with this video before even like going further into it? They said in the very beginning, we're going to compare them based off the sales and also the popularity. So they're actually looking at something tangible to come up with an answer. That's much better than the previous video where I don't know what they were using to figure anything else. So that's actually a much better pick already. Oh, it's top 10 Smartest Heroes? Whoopsies. Alright guys, we're not watching this one. My bad. Smartest Heroes. Okay, forget it.
I'm into 8.
Forget you saw that. And keep watching these Walking Dead kills. Okay. It was called Smartest Heroes. Okay. Okay.
Though many rely on their brawn to fight injustice, these heroes are all about the brain power. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 smartest heroes in anime.
But I always knew you were brilliant.
Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're looking at anime's heroic figures that use their genius intellect for good. So, sorry, but all the baddies will have to sit this one out.
Really?
Number 10, Shiro, Log Horizon.
I am starting a new guild. Will you join me?
Kei Shirogane was just a 20.
I've never seen Log Horizon. I'm not sure if it's smart or not. I will say, and I've said this like 1,000 times already. Oh, I haven't put this one down. My bad. When it comes to intelligence of characters, I'm very skeptical when people say this character is smarter than that character, because oftentimes people don't define what they mean by intelligence, because being physically a good fighter like Goku is very intelligent, because that takes skill, and that's kinesthetic intelligence. So they probably don't define what intelligence means. So I'm sure I'm not going to agree with this.
3-year-old reclusive engineering student. That all changed when he became trapped in the largest MMORPG in history, Elder Tale, and took on the mantle of Shiro. As Shiro, Kei not only became a powerful enchanter scribe, but also one of the best strategists in the game. He honed his strategic chops working with the Debauchery Tea Party group, practicing and eventually mastering his signature skill, Full Control Encounter.
Is that really true, my lord?
Despite staying humble, his scheming ways soon earned him the nickname Villain in Glass from his guildmates.
And you need to lighten up. Yeah, dude, whatever.
Number 9, Rintaro Okabe, Steins Gate.
Do you take us all for babes in the wilderness?
Despite just being 18 years old,
I don't know. I guess he's pretty smart. They made a time machine. That's pretty impressive. I would say logically, mathematically, he's quite brilliant. Socially, though, It's an interesting one.
Rintaro already runs his own laboratory, Future Gadgets Labs. Okay, it might be tiny, situated above a CRT store, and have only a handful of lab members, but
Most of the gadgets they make are garbage, let's be honest here.
Rintaro and his team create are still ambitious, even if they don't always work out as expected.
Ah, here we go.
One such wacky invention is the phone microwave, which was built as a remote-controlled microwave, but ends up as a time travel or time leap machine that Rintaro can't resist using to heroically mess with the past.
Please don't send another one, Ocarine. If you press that button...
Don't. Well, you're
Number 8, Victorique de Blois. Go Sick.
I've never seen this one either.
問題の獣医を殺したのは他ならぬ彼の
Ooh, his
妻
wife.
Imagine
Uh-oh.
if the brain of Sherlock Holmes was somehow transplanted into the body of a 15-year-old French schoolgirl, and you get Victorique, pipe smoking and all.
What? Okay. Try to watch Batman vs. Lelouch when it comes to knowledge. That's a hard thing to say, because Batman is probably smarter in general, because Batman's, well, he's older, he had more time to accumulate knowledge, but Batman's also a prodigy too, and I've gone over another stream like how smart he actually is. Batman and Lelouch, my two favorite male protagonists.
カオスのかけらは全て揃っている
The diminutive detective is a student at the prestigious St. Marguerite Academy, and spends as much time as possible in the school's impressive library. Victorique's incredible mind is tailor-made for sleuthing, as, using her photographic memory, she can easily recall and use stored information abnormally fast. She's also keenly observant, to the point of being able to reconstruct scenes with scary accuracy.
これでも精一杯急いできた。
言い訳するな
Number 7, Shiba Tatsuya, the irregular at Magic High School.
Who are these people?
Though he harbors much grander plans beyond the school walls, due to his shadowy past, Shiba possesses incredible magical and combative abilities.
So he's kinesthetically
Unlike
intelligent.
devotion to his twin sister Miyuki, Shiba makes up for his lack of emotional freedom by channeling his mental energy into achieving outstanding academic grades and pioneering magical weapons tech. Call him a Gary Stu, but this overpowered magic user is one of the smartest around.
元より犯罪者
So the person before was a really good detective with good photographic memory, and apparently she also has Sherlock Holmes' mind. Is that really smart? Someone who made a time machine? I don't know. And this guy, apparently he's good at fighting, strategy, and also academically brilliant. Okay.
やテロリスト
But he has no emotional intelligence, so inter and intrapersonal, probably not that good there.
やからは卑劣なものだ命じた側が命を懸ける事例などまれさ
Alright,
Number
next.
6, Kuro Sensei, Assassination
Now this guy's actually pretty smart. I haven't seen Assassination Classroom, but from what I understand of this story, he's actually pretty brilliant.
Everything about this guy seems to scream of villainy, and yet Kudo-sensei is much more morally ambiguous than he appears. What's clear, though, is his superior intellect. Once he made the unlikely career shift to homeroom teacher, his talents focused on being able to teach any subject, using his unique abilities to teach an entire class at once with after images. Despite his monster's appearance and shadowy past, he turns out to be an excellent tutor, dangerously good in fact. Number 5, Shiro, no game, no life.
I think this guy should be higher in the list. If he can do all that stuff, what puts him lower than other people? I mean, he's a supernatural being. The problem with intelligence, if you're going to look at a supernatural being compared to a regular mortal, I'm not sure if that's even a fair competition. But I guess we can go that route. That's my only problem with putting him on this list. He's not a normal human being. Whatever the hell he is. So it's not really fair. Everyone else in the show so far in this list are humans. He's not human. I don't think it's a fair comparison.
This is one 11-year-old gamer you better hope you don't go up against online. As one half of the gaming team Blank, Shiro is one of the most skilled first-person shooter players in the world due to her uncanny ability to predict her opponent's moves. Her stepbrother Sora, the other half of Team Blank, explains that her strategic skills were sharpened beating a chess simulator designed for a grandmaster an impressive 20 times in a row. Shiro also speaks 18 languages and, like her brother, has a photographic memory and super fast information recall. Number 4, Shikamaru.
So, this is interesting. They speak 18 languages, they can recall information, photographic memory, and they're good at strategy games. Wow.
Naruto series.
And the diversion? That'll be me. I've got this.
A shinobi of the Nara clan and member of Team 10, Shikamaru is considered to be one of the smartest characters in Naruto. Not that you know it straight away, though, because Shikamaru's grades at the academy lead many to underestimate him. But he quickly dispelled this image when he became the only member of his class to pass the Chuin exam.
He's done thinking. Now it begins.
His teacher assumed his IQ to be over 200, which Shikamaru demonstrates as he finds new and innovative uses for his shadow imitation technique. But he usually hides his superior intelligence under a cloak of sheer indifference.
What's happening?
Number 3, L.
Alright, this thing stupid here. How was Shikamaru smarter than Shiro? Was that her name? From Your Game No Life.
Brother Sora, the other half, Shiro, no game.
Yeah, Shiro. Shikamaru doesn't have photographic memory. He doesn't have the ability to strategize in the same way these people can. I don't understand how is... Every time they make these lists, they never explain why someone is higher than the other on the list. Shiro is clearly able to... Like, she can speak 18 languages, and she has incredible recall on everything she reads, photographic memory. And she is better than, like, a chess simulator. There aren't even chess simulators in Naruto. I'm not saying Shikamaru is a lightweight, but when you compare these two resumes, I'm very confused as to why Shiro would be lower than Shikamaru, or even Okabe. I'm really confused. Like, Shikamaru is a good strategist, and I don't know. I'm a little lost. It's like from Death on a Bridge. I'm a little lost here. Who are we fighting? This is weird to me.
And member of that you only member of his. Now you to be an imitation.
I'm kind of lost, but okay.
Number 3, L. Death Note.
Oh well, if there is another notebook floating around out there and someone is now using it to kill criminals, we'll just have to bring that person to justice.
Every great villain needs an equally great hero to try and stop them, and the murderous Light Yagami found that in L. L is so talented at solving crime that he's not only considered the greatest PI in the world, but through 2 of his other detective aliases, Miyazaki and Araldo Coyle, he's also the 2nd and 3rd greatest too.
So, you figured it out.
Always in need of a challenge, he specifically takes on cases that have stumped governments around the world, much like the Kira case.
I now know where you are.
This L guy is pretty good.
Number 2, Lelouch Lamperouge. Code.
Oh man. Okay. Okay. I agree. L is very smart. There is no doubt he's pretty smart. But can he speak 18 languages, have incredible photographic memory, and can recall like details, or even go to a crime scene and recreate the crime scene itself? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, why this list is ridiculous to me, and clearly based on trying to make the fans, appealing to fans, because how is L smarter than Shiro? Again, let's say I didn't know any of these shows, I was watching this randomly because I wanted to learn something. What is L's abilities beyond having good deductive and logical reasoning skills? He's pretty athletically strong. He solves a lot of cases. That's very impressive. But can he speak 18 languages? Does he have insane recall? Did he make a time machine? Can he learn things rapidly and use after images? No. This list is so stupid. You don't define early on what your criteria is for intelligence. I have no understanding or basis to put one character above another. Unless, of course, the top 10 list isn't in any particular order. We know that's not the case, but I'm just, throwing out there, I don't understand one over the other. I haven't looked at the comments. I'll take a look quick. I'm sure there isn't too many, but let's see. Okabe is smart, but in the anime it didn't show much about it. He says his IQ is equal to Newton's, but he created a time machine in the future. As you said, he's indeed intelligent. Yeah, Okabe is really smart. Again, I don't is this, and this is, by the way, in the video that's coming out this week for Lelouch and Light, the intelligence. I actually give you guys my definition of intelligence. I state what the criteria is, and then I go through the characters demonstrating this intelligence, so you can understand where I'm coming from when I say who's smarter than who in which instances. I at least try to give some kind of criteria, so it's okay, I see where you're coming from. That's why you feel this way. As opposed to this list where it's this character can do these 3 incredible things. This character can do these 3 incredible things. And you're wondering, which is better? How would I know? That's why when people make these lists about who's the smartest characters, and it's WatchMojo, it's CBR, it's just clickbait articles all around, other YouTube videos, they don't give you criteria on what intelligence is and who will be smarter than someone else. IQ tests are not the best way to do this because they don't always measure they don't measure how well you're going to do in real life. They just measure your current ability. Some people are really do well on IQ tests, and that's it. There's no limit beyond. They've already reached their limit. While some people might take an IQ test and they will go beyond it. You see, intelligence is only useful if you do something with it. Some people are really smart, but they don't apply themselves. I'm sure you know people like that in real life. The point I'm making is that you can't look at one area and determine who's smarter than who. You gotta look at a bunch of different things, and they're not really doing that in this video, which is not surprising because it's 8 minutes and not 30 minutes or an hour if you really want to go that far. Really stupid stuff. Ironic I said stupid, but we'll say when it comes to knowledge, the 2 are my favorite character. My favorite anime was Dragon Ball and Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Was good stuff. L's the 3rd smartest anime hero, even though he ended up dying because he didn't realize that Light was Kira. I don't think he didn't realize. I think he couldn't prove it. Plus, he didn't know anything about how the Death Note worked, so that's why he kind of lost. Yeah, he couldn't prove it. Lucia's top 2. Wait, hold on. Lucia's top 2, where he belongs. L can speak 6 languages AFK, but you're right. Yeah, only 6, not 18. Yeah, 6 is a third. Sadly, it's an old version of the video. Senku is not there. Sorry, guys, I have to go for my class. All right, dude. Thanks for stopping by. Be good, man. Have a good fun time. Be like a Lelouch in class, and just like do well by sleeping and somehow get all the answers correctly. All right, we'll finish the video off. Then we're gonna end the stream. By the way, it says Lelouch Lamperouge. Again, I'm kind of a dick here, but it's V Britannia. Lamperouge is a alias, just like Zero is an alias, just like Evil Emperor Lelouch or Julius Kingsley. It's V Britannia. That's his real name. If Light Yagami wrote Lelouch Lamperouge, nothing would happen to him. So let's not be stupid here, okay?
This L guy is pretty good.
Number 2, Lelouch Lamperouge.
Lamperouge.
If the king doesn't lead, how can he expect his subordinates to follow?
Impressive.
Well, I'm DX here, and well, accordingly, it doesn't matter because that's stupid. What a stupid strategy. You see, when someone plays chess, it's supposed to be some kind of symbolism, but actually, it's hollow, according to me. Even though that's complete crap, but whatever.
Strategy. Also known by his real name, Lelouch V Britannia, as well
So why did you not put V Britannia in the list?
as his masked alter ego, Zero. This is a freedom fighter who will stop at nothing to achieve his noble cause, even if...
He will stop at nothing? Stop at nothing. No. Oh my god. Is this why you want to watch this, Ryan? So my brains would fall out of my head? First Gladiator King and now you. Why do you guys always torture me with this crap? Lelouch will stop at nothing. No. No. The commonality between this video and the one we just watched was like, what would Lelouch do to accomplish his goals? How far would he go? We know how far he would go. He wouldn't kill his family members, specifically Nunnally. He would definitely kill Cornelia and Schneisel and Charles, but he wouldn't kill Nunnally. He won't harm his friends. Everyone else on the table, it has always been that way from day one. He will not stop at nothing. That is 100% accurate. Because if that was the case, he could have won the war multiple ways by sacrificing Nunnally. But remember, without Nunnally, what's he doing this all for? God awful take. He will stop at nothing. Again, a generic statement that you could say about anybody. And what does that have to do with intelligence? Nothing, because they don't know what they're talking about.
That means resorting to less than heroic tactics, after Lelouch is gifted with a power known as the Geass.
You have to define what do you mean by less than heroic tactics. Do you mean the rock slide in Narita? Technically speaking, if he had just aimed it towards the Britannian troops and not at the people in that area, like the actual the civilian area, it wouldn't have been as cowardly as it was. Usually Lelouch, well, you know, that's not true. He does some cowardly tactics. But it is war, and he makes it very clear why. I'll talk about it in my is Lelouch a hero, villain, or anti-hero video.
He is galvanized to finally try and destroy the Holy Britannian Empire, headed by his villainous father.
We've already been cut off. Our only chance of surviving now is to fight.
Even before gaining his unique powers, Lelouch was already a daunting force to be reckoned with, thanks to his prodigious intelligence and strategic skills.
Enough time.
You start with the king.
That guy's response is mine to this whole video.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
That's probably actually not a bad pick. Some say this show has similar tactics to Code Geass.
Number 1, Shinichi Kudo, aka Conan Edogawa. Case closed, aka Detective Conan.
あなたのデザインを盗んでライバル会社に売ったのは
Okay.
谷口美香さんだったんですね。
He was an ordinary 16-year-old high school student with a not-so-ordinary double life. As a gifted amateur detective, he was known for solving the unsolvable cases that eluded professionals. One day, Shinichi's life becomes even more unusual when he has a strange reaction to a poison he's forced to drink. Rather than kill him, it causes his body to regress to childhood. Luckily, his incredible IQ remains intact, but his new body means that he must hide his true identity under the pseudonym Detective Conan. As well as his acute observation, deductive, and memorization expertise, he also learns to use his childhood innocence to best his adult peers.
江戸川コナン探偵さ探偵さん
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these out.
No, I don't. Okay. I think I'm going to be a broken record at this point. But why is he number one? Is he that much smarter than L? I don't think so. If you take his 16-year-old 16-year-old prodigy, how's he smarter than Lelouch? Or L? Or Shiro? Or that other 15-year-old... You know what I noticed? All the people on this list, the vast majority were detectives. Because the only smart people out there are apparently detectives. Of course, you don't put Lunge on here. You know Lunge from Monster, the guy who actually also has good memory too. Oh my lord. What was that? What was that? You should put a Goku on this list to troll people, but also point out that when it comes to fighting and strategy, like martial arts, Goku is one of the best martial artists in the world. He trained with all the best fighters. So when it comes to intelligence from a physical standpoint, he's one of the smartest characters in anime. I know he won't do well on an academic test, like an IQ test or something, but fighting-wise, Goku is one of the smartest characters in anime. You wouldn't see on a list like that because people only look at academic intelligence and deductive reasoning and analytics. No one looks at how people are with other people, like interpersonal or intrapersonal. Those never get discussed often, which is really kind of sad because I think those are valid forms of intelligence that get often ignored. This list was awful. Their take on Lelouch, as usual, terrible. Well, what can you expect from WatchMojo? We'll go to their comments real quick, and then we're gonna... What time is it? Oh, God. How long am I streaming for? Long time. Okay. I tend to refer to Lelouch as Lelouch Lamperouge, too. I get it, but that's not his name, though. Like, yes, tell you what. If you refer to him, like, in small, simple conversation, sure. But if you're making a list of a certain characters, you list their name. For example, when they were mentioning L, they didn't use Coil as his other alternative identity. Why would they do that? They use the name he goes by in the show, and Lucy Britannia is his name. So, if you want to do it in like a simple conversation or something, but if you're doing a video essay like this, that's not acceptable in my view. Oh, well, here. I tend to refer to Colin Kozuki as Colin Stafford. See, I never do that either. I prefer Kozuki because she prefers Kozuki. That's the only reason. Sorry, man. Just did that for the fun. I thought you'd like this. I think the video is funny, but like again, intelligence is not something people understand how to analyze correctly. Yeah, I said C2 or C2. I don't make the splash around. A video I like to see you do is the Zero Lelouch count as a superhero. That's interesting because if I do analysis of being a hero, anti-hero, or villain, it would come up. So I'll think about it. I'll put that on my I'll put that on a possibility here. I'll write a note real quick. Is Lelouch as Zero a superhero? Question mark. Do a video on it. Alright. Obviously, C2 stands for Cecile or Cecile Crewmate. Facts. Facts. Absolute facts. Okay, number one doesn't make any sense. Conan should be 9 or 8. He doesn't compete close to Shiro, Lelouch, L, or Lelouch. No, not even the Assassination Classroom teacher. I forgot his name already. Even Shikimaru, I'm just baffled. What in God's name? Okay. Conan is smart. Nowhere close to top 5 or top 3. He's 9 for 8th place or lower. Can he go up against Shiro, L, and Lelouch? No. None of them. Definitely none of them. Definitely not. Okay, how are we doing? Okay, yeah, we should probably like wrap this up. All right, I'm gonna probably stop it here. It's getting kind of late. I got work to do tomorrow. Well, not like work. I'm off for Labor Day, but like this work stuff. I'll take a look at that here. I'll take your Zero being superhero because he's Punisher and Watchmen are like superheroes, so that's like Zero. Yeah, again, like superheroes is a very subjective term, right? Because the people in Watchmen are superheroes, but they have no superpowers except for Dr. Manhattan. But anyways, I'm gonna end the stream here. September 10th will be the big announcement. I will do a stream on Sunday to go over what we learned, and if we have time, we might also go over an article that they just made from CBR, or we'll do another video. Maybe I'll go through Giga's R2 review or something, or even Trash Taste's discussion on Code Geass. Either way, thanks guys for stopping by. And by the way, this was probably my most attended stream I had in a long time. I mean, we had like 10, 15 people at all the time during the stream, which is pretty cool. I don't usually get that type of response and reception. But yeah, thanks guys. You're all awesome. Appreciate it. And have a good week. Even for me, it's a bit short week, but have a good week, guys. Thank you so much.